guys, welcome to this week's stream.
Ooh, very nice.
Fleximan, thank you very much for the very nice subscription right as I started just there. Very, very well timed. I think he waited to see the start of the intro and then he pressed go. Who got first this weekend? So I think it was Karcher, who also subscribed as well. So thank you very much, Karcher, for the tier 1 subscription for 12 months now. He says, heyo man, good to see you, dude. We also got a subscription from Key65 as well for 33 months. That's a huge number of months, dude. That's crazy. 33 months. That's just about as long as you can go. You want the mic volume up? I can turn it up a little bit. There we go. I had it turned down a little bit because I have got my fan on in the room here. It's very warm, so I've got the fan on, and I don't want that to detract too much. So I apologise if the audio quality isn't great. I need it down. Now the music's too loud. Okay. Let's turn the music down. Okay. There we go. The music shouldn't be over the top of my voice. I've got it on very quietly. Cool. Okay. If it needs turning down a little bit more, let me know. I can adjust it a little bit more. There we go. Let's get it down quiet. Okay. So let's just go back through chat. So we also got FizzKeys 33 months. Thank you very much for that, dude. FizzKey says not first. No, you weren't first. I think Karcher was first. Then we've also got Rabbit Sensei, Nathan Alphaman, Rinsed Sloth, Unicorn, and quite a few other people here as well. Okay, the volume's just gone hugely high. Why did it do that? What's going on with the volume here? Okay, guys, let me know if the volume for the music is too loud for you guys in the background now, or if it's too quiet, and I will adjust as necessary. Still sounds good there? Okay, my volume just in my ears just went really loud there. I don't know why. Twitch title has a small typo. Okay, I can't fix it. And the reason I can't fix it is because I can't actually log into Twitch at the minute, because Brian gets a 2-factor authentication to his phone and he's not responding to me. So whilst I'm logged in on the streaming software we use, I can't actually log in on a browser to change anything or do anything. So I had one shot at updating it. I apologise if I missed that and got a typo. But I can't fix it because I literally can't log in. I also can't log into Nightbot. The O is missing in Lodestone. Right, okay, I can't fix it. You guys just have to accept that it's like that, and I'll have to remember to update it later on. If Brian manages to message me during the show, then I can get on. If you all go and ping Brian and tell him to message me, then maybe we can fix it that way. But I genuinely can't fix it because he's not answering his phone. So I have no recourse to fix it. Anyway, we've also got Huey here as well. We are going to be doing a build for Huey today, a rare customer build. That's going to be the main part of the show. We've also got Nathan Alphaman, Rabbit Sensei, Rinsed Sloth, Unicorn, Desp Key, Mr. Petrov, CSELQ, Glacier, Priolio, Fleximan, Full is here as well. I won't call you the name you hate. Good evening, Full. Good to see you, man. Enemy's Friend is here as well. Zapri's here as well. Music loud. Yeah, I fixed it. I think when Brian had been on, he'd been changing settings for Langlandia the other day. He'd adjusted that and forgotten to change my settings back, and I'd not checked it. So there we go. It's fixed. Voice makeup. Yeah, I think Langlandia's mic he has his mic a lot closer. For build streams, I have mine quite far away. It's like 3 feet away, maybe 2 feet away. So I have to have the volume on louder, and I think it all just been adjusted for that, and I'd missed it and forgotten about that. So hopefully it's okay. J-01 and Lodestone. Yes, we actually have 2 prototypes to share with you today. They are just off stream here down at the side of me. I've also got a ton of desk mats as well. So Caps Unlocked actually sent me through desk mats. I haven't opened any of these yet. These are all still completely sealed. You can see them in the little video screen down here. So we're going to have a look at these first, see what they're like, see if they're any good. And yeah, I have no idea, but there's 5 of them. He asked me to check out and show you guys what they were like. So he sent them through during this week. I will show those. I will also show the J-01 and the Lodestone prototypes. Now, we're not going to do a sound test of the Lodestone prototype, even though it's built, and I'll talk about that why later on, but I will show you how it works, how it's all put together, and how great that orange looks. The J-01 is kind of fitted together, but I'm still waiting on some parts for that as well, so I'll cover that when we get to the J-01 as well. I'm still missing the finalised plate and the finalised gaskets. So at the minute it's kind of jankily put together with some makeshift bits and pieces to see if it all fits and it all works, which it does, which is great, but it's not ready to build yet, and hopefully it will be in a couple of weeks. Who else have we got here? Matt Musant, J-01 and Lodestone, super excited. Thanks, man. Now known as Lodestne. Yeah, let's do it. Mods fix it. Yeah, maybe the mods can fix it. I can't log in, so You should all DM Brian and see if we can wake him up, because I assume he's asleep. Why don't you have a Luna on your shelf? Ungodly design, because you never sent me one. So that's why. Most of my keyboards aren't on my shelf. There's only a few of them that are up there anyway. Yeah, I don't have a Luna. Let's fix that. Okay, yeah, sure. You send one, I'll build it, man. You send it over, I'll build it. Wilson's here as well. He says, yo Jay, yo man, good to see you. Pusher is here too. Pusher, good to see you, man. I liked what you did with that picture in the group chat earlier on. That was fun. Stonus is here. He says, clap that. Yeah. Zapri says, evening Jay, hey man, good to see you. Guatema's here as well. Yeah, I know there's a typo in the title. I can't fix it. Brian hasn't... The two-factor authentication for Twitch goes to Brian's mobile phone. And Brian isn't replying right now, which means every 30 days I get locked out of Twitch until he replies to my messages. He's not seeing them right now, so I can't get into Twitch. I've only got access through the streaming software we use. So there we go. How's it feel to be a top clack and not a bottom clack? It's fair, yeah. Fair. I hope you guys all enjoyed Langlandy being on the show the other day as well. I hope that was enjoyable for you guys. I'm also going to just adjust the colour on my face cam because it looks like it's slightly off. Again, I think some of the settings have been tweaked. So let me just see if I can fix this. I might not be able to, but there we go. That looks a bit brighter. There we go. And just change the contrast slightly. No, wrong way. No, that looks a little bit more accurate. That's probably as close as I can get. Anyway, it's better than it was. It'll do. Okay. What else are we talking about? Little top clack builds. Oh, thank you, A1A, for fixing it. Thank you. You are a legend. Thank you very much for that, good sir. And his friend says, choose my adventure today. Build a Polaris with brass plate and plain 60 PCB, or with POM plate, half plate and Polaris PCB, or even brass with Polaris PCB and POM with plain 60. I would go with POM and the plain 60 PCB. Plain 60, Spot Martin, he's done a great job with those plain 60 PCBs, and POM is a better plate than brass. So that's what I would pick. Fixed. Yeah, thanks guys. I missed that. Right, okay. I still can't log in, so I have to go with the chat I see in here, so I don't see the chat that I normally would do. That's fine. Oh, Polaris won't use another PCB because 1.2 million, so that's right, yes. C Great, thank you very much for the sub. Oh, in fact, actually, thank you, A1A, for the 5 gift subs. That's what it was there. So thank you very, very much for those gift subs. Ooh. Cryptoid says, wait, that wasn't Jay who just shaved last show? No, that wasn't me, that was Langalandia. There you go. Oops, when you type in a highlighted message and you misspell it as well, Flex as well. Yeah, it's Phoenixed. Jay, relax. Thank you. I still can't log into Twitch though, which is the really, really frustrating part. It's really frustrating. Salvin getting subs everywhere. Salvin's a legend. He is worthwhile having subs in any stream that he's in. So yeah, Salvin, if you're there, good day, sir. I hope you're doing well.
Ooh, very nice.
All those very nices. Thank you very much. Lang is a funnier J. Maybe. I don't know. That's a massive beer. It's not actually beer, it is cider. So I can't really show you guys, but it's a Recorder League cider. Yeah, it's really warm, so I wanted a drink that was nice and refreshing and cool. Sadly, I can't find the passion fruit flavoured one, which is the nicest one that they do, so we're on that one. Recorder League is great. It's really good, especially on a sunny, summery day. You can see the sun coming through the curtains at the back. It's really, really nice. Really been a lovely day outside, so it's great. Okay, so I think that we missed Ashley's sub. There you go, dude. No, full sub. Thank you very much. 13 months now. Thank you very much for the sub there, dude. I genuinely appreciate that. I should stop memeing on your name. I know it's not your name, but Gran. There we go. That'll hopefully make up for it. Jay going for the childhood days of drinking cider in the park. Man, you know it. You did that too. You did it too. Too sweet for a cider. Hey, I do like a pear cider as well, but sometimes 8 o'clock in the evening, something nice and sweet is just what you need. Right then, without much further ado, I think I've said hello to everyone. Gilbert's here as well, I missed that, and Bowie as well, so I missed those two, but good evening, guys. Let's take a look at some of these desk mat that came from Caps Unlocked and see what we think. I'm happy for you guys to post your thoughts as well as we flick over the cameras. So ta-da! If you guys like or dislike these, then do let me know. I haven't seen any of them. There is 5 of them. I do need to open them up. As you can see, these are all completely still sealed. I haven't looked at any of these. Some of them you can kind of see a bit of colour through, but not all of them. I don't know how many of these are the same design, or if they are the same design. I don't know what the design is, but I've got 5 of them. So let's take a look at the first couple as well. Functional, thank you very much for the 14 months of Twitch Prime. I really, really appreciate those subs, man. They mean an awful lot, so thank you very much. SELQ says, listen to your colour tips on my GMK Evil Dolce set. Switched to stock colours now. Updated my Geekcast post yesterday. Also did a novelty change. Thanks for the input. Really appreciate it. No worries, man. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you. If you kept the garish branding, I'd be disappointed. Well, we'll see what Caps has come up with. So for those that you don't know, Caps Unlocked is a UK company. This one's kind of bright. Casterverus, thank you very much for the subscription. Thank you, dude. You know what, I'm just going to rip the paper off of these because I can always wrap them up and I send them back to him. Oh, he's rolled them the good way, which means that I can't see. So this is the rubber side up. So it means that I can't see until I do show you guys. Yeah, there's been some really good designs for Deathmatch lately. Some really good designs out there. So I'm excited to see what these are like. I don't know if they're going to be any good or if they're going to be bad. I'm sure someone will like them, whether you guys are that audience or not. Okay, good start. It's green. I like a bit of green. Oh, okay. It's just plain. That's pretty nice, actually. Okay, so that's all right. It's just a green colour. That's pretty colour accurate on the screen as I'm looking at it, so it's probably not too far away. It's kind of like a mid-green colour. A little bit different in terms of the olive plushie. For a colour that you guys have seen that's green, you guys know what colour the olive plushie is. That kind of tells you where the colour goes from there. It does have some small Caps Unlocked branding in the bottom corner, but they're good quality. I'll show you guys that. Caps Unlocked. A little bit better of a logo than he had before. It's a nice design. Feels very similar to the Dixie Mats. Quality is almost identical. Feel, thickness, yeah. It's almost a minty colour. Yeah, it's almost a mint. Not quite a mint, but yeah, it's almost a mint colour. Yeah, interesting. Argyle Desmat when? How about Argyle Beer Coaster? Something like that. Hey, how's it going? Says KVS. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. I appreciate that. What the hell? What's Socialite's Proto in the top right? Can you show that off too? Not seen it before. Don't know what you're on about. I can't see anything. Don't know what you're on about, Ashley. Don't know what you're on about, mate. I have no clue what you're on about, full. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's take a look at the next one. I'm not sure if these are just all different colours or how this is going to work, but we'll see. Let's just tear into these. Oh, now this is a better start off as well. Look at this, nice bit of pink in there. That's not a bad start. Okay. I think these are all just coloured. This is a really nice pink. Hey guys, this is actually a pretty nice one. Again, Caps Unlocked branding in the bottom corner. This is pretty nice. That's a nice colour. Nice colour. Same size as all the other desk mats we get these days, but that's pretty tasty. It's bright, but it's nice. It's a good pink. It's a good pink. I don't have any pink boards with me to kind of show it off. They are 900 by 400, yeah. Yeah, Jim K. Blink, right? Careful. Yeah, 900 by 400. I personally prefer some a bit deeper because my desk is 60 centimeters deep, so I'd prefer some 900 by 60. But hey, that doesn't seem to be a popular size. So we've got a pink one as well. I imagine that these are just going to be different colours, but they're pretty good quality. They're pretty nice. How would that pink sit with the Alice? Pretty well, Glove. It would be pretty well. I mean, look, you can see the pink. So this is the 8008 mat. You can kind of see that the pink's slightly different. It's a bit paler, but it's a good pink. So it probably sit quite well with the Alice. For those wondering, I sold my pink Alice to Glove about this time last year, so I could make it to the Seattle meetup, and he now shows off with everything he can get. But I don't blame him. Okay, I think this one's just going to be a blue-grey. Oh, now this is a really good colour. So the camera's not going to pick this up particularly well, but this is kind of like, this is almost the ultramarine colour that you see with the clipper. This is really nice. Hold on, let me grab my ultramarine clipper so I can show you guys. Look how good that matches. That sits really well. So that sits really, really well. So this is the ultramarine clipper. It looks a bit blue in the camera light, but you guys have seen the colour on the site. It's kind of a grey, bluey, greeny colour. This desk mat works really well with that. If you want to see a better representation of the camera colour, of the board colour, go and have a look on Mechanisk.com, one of our sponsors, right up there right now, Mechanisk. Go ahead and take a look at there because I've got some really good pictures of this colour. But this works with this desk mat really, really well. That looks really good. Caps, you're not getting this one back. If you're watching Caps and Locks, you are not getting that coloured one back. Okay, put that board to one side. 2 more to go, guys, and then we'll start looking at the build. That's the latest round of the Clipper Blue, I believe. Can't get into this one, can't get my finger under it, there we go. That pad colour looks really nice. That last pad was really nice. The J-01, you'll see the J-01 in a bit. Well, I mean, you can see the original J-01 here. You'll see the redesigned J-01 in a bit. We will talk colours, we will talk group buys, we will talk details, and we will talk numbers. We'll also talk about Lodestone in a bit as well. Okay, so I think I'm going to like this one already because of the colour scheme, but it's not something I'd ever be able to use because I do too much work at my desk. So there we go. This is, oops. So this is kind of like a pale grey. So this is almost like this colour of solder. It's like that kind of really pale grey. If I put something white on it, you might be able to see the difference. That's something white on it, so it's like a really pale grey. It's actually kind of nice. Again, Caps and Lock branding in the bottom corner. That's a really nice colour as well, but I would get that so dirty. So dirty. Yeah, it's lovely though. It genuinely is lovely. It's like it's like an off-white. It's like a, I mean the desk's white, so you can see the difference there. It's like a really pale grey. Yeah. So you kind of got a warm white here and a cool white there. That's kind of like in the middle. Although that doesn't exist, so you can't see that. But yeah, that one's really nice. The ultramarine was good, and that one was pretty nice too. Okay, last one. Let's take a look at this. So does the Caps and Lock allow personal customization of the desk? As far as I know, they're all plain. He just sent me these and said, could I have a look at them on stream? So I said, yeah. Got some blue this time, guys. Okay, so this one, if you are into your brighter colours, this one's a bright blue. Again, it's going to have the same branding on. That's a really bright blue. I don't really have anything blue to show you, but it's the same colour as those pretty much. I don't have anything blue that you guys would know what the blue is. Okay. Try putting that on there. You can kind of see it's a little bit paler than the hat of the Gator-on. Everyone's seen a Gator-on these days. You all know what colour his hat is. So there you go. Put the clipper on it. I don't think it'll work. Doesn't really work, doesn't these two colours together, but that ultramarine coloured one really worked. TA mods, oh gosh, I'm getting so many boards out here, hold on. This is TA90. It's kind of the same, it's probably closer to Blue Glue, which I do have here actually. So that's closer to Blue Glue, so this is an unused set of GMK Blue Glue. It's probably closer to that, so you guys can kind of see and get a bit of a feel for what the colour is. There you go. I don't have a Clipper R2 blue, I'm afraid. I wish I did, but I don't. Otherwise, I would put that on there. Blue Volcano. Yeah, this is Blue Volcano. Again, it's kind of more ultramarine-y. But there we go, some desk mats from Caps and Lock. I think they're coming into group buy soon, so you guys can probably take a look at those on his site. Let me just make some space here. I've just kind of chipped them on the floor. There we go. They're out of the way. I'll send them back to him next week, but he's not getting that. He's not getting that ultramarine coloured one back. running out of space. I've been picking up all these boards. PVD brass, yeah. GMK Shoko, it's on. GMK Shoko isn't here actually. I can't show that. GMK Shoko is actually at my office space, so I can't show it at the minute. I need to desolder my volcano and put a CF plate into it. You should do that, Functional. You should absolutely do that. Z Lobby says, did he miss any goodies? You only missed desk mats. Oh yeah, guys, look. I had to go to the hospital the other day. That's where they took the blood. It's really, really sore. So it's painful whenever I bend my arm upwards like that. Like, just pain here. Yeah. The damn nurse was not gentle, I'll be honest, when she took the blood. But hey, these things happen. Yeah, but you should definitely check the CF plate in the volcano. I need to rebuild mine, but I'm waiting for the new PCB to be able to do that. So don't send your arm up like that. Yeah, it's easier said than done. Positive by the sounds of it though. Yes, everything was fine at the hospital. I'm okay, guys. I'm okay. No, there was no misses. It's like it's just gone like a bruise. The two veins that they went for, they got straight in and took the blood, but they had to do it twice because they needed so much blood. They did like a series of blood tests in the morning, a series of blood tests in the afternoon. So they went in twice, but yeah, it's fine. It was a little bit painful, but I'm not squeamish when it comes to blood or anything like that, and I'm fine with them taking it. It's more sore now afterwards whenever I bend my arm and do stuff, but you can't live your life like that, right? You have to carry on going, so it's fine, and it'll go away. I actually nearly took the end of my finger off that. And this looks like nothing now if I show you this now, but it only happened on Tuesday, and I nearly took the end of my finger off with a screwdriver. So I actually got a screwdriver stuck underneath my nail there, and it went through my finger, and you can just see the tip here. That's where the tip of the screwdriver came out. The screwdriver kind of went through. It was like a small flathead, and that was only on Tuesday, and it's healed up pretty well. But that really hurt. I might have sworn when that happened. It was like it wasn't one of these particular ones, but I'll show you what kind of size it was. If I have one that kind of size on here. Okay, so I don't have one quite as small as it was, but it was smaller than this. So it was really tiny. It was smaller than that. So it was really tiny, and it kind of just went in underneath my finger. I slipped, and then nearly came out on the other side of my finger. But hey, these things happen. Why would you do that? It sounds like it hurts. I was actually trying to prise something, and the screwdriver slipped and just went straight into my finger. And the stupid thing is, right before I did it, I was like, oh, I should move my hand position because I know if I slip here, I'm going to stab myself in the hand. And I still didn't move my hand position. I could have grabbed the piece of thing from the bottom, or I could have grabbed it from the end, or I could have clamped it in a different way, or whatever. But no. Own fault. No sympathy needed for that one. Mentally stabbed herself with a butter knife. Wow. Yeah, it happens, guys. We all make mistakes. Just a slight scratch, a little pinch, and the next thing you know, it's like a needle in your arm. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, guys. So we do have two prototypes to show you today. I'm probably going to do one now, then do the build, and then do the other one afterwards, and then we're not doing the same thing all the way through. So I don't actually know which order these are in because they're just stacked up in boxes. So we'll see which one we've got first. I'm not sure which order these are in. So this is either the J-01 or the Lodestone. I don't know, and I won't know until I open it up. So I can't remember which is in each box because I just stacked them up to bring them home. So yeah, so we'll see which one this is. And then once I've shown you guys whichever this one is, I know which one it is now. Once I've shown you whichever one this one is, guys, then we're going to do the build for Huey, who's in chat. Huey, good evening, good sir. Who's having me build his Fox Lab Key65, and we're going to be building that with inks and Durox stabilizer. So we'll get to that shortly. And I haven't updated the build command either because I can't log into Twitch, so I haven't updated the build command either. So let's see what this is. I think some of you guys will know. Some of you guys have already guessed which one this is, I think. I knew as soon as I picked it up. I think you can probably tell what it is now. command build has been edited successfully. Thank you, good sir. Thank you very much for that. I genuinely appreciate it.
Very.
Rabbit Sensei, thank you very much. So guys, as you might guess, this is the Lodestone Prototype Volume 2. This is the latest one. This is a fully working version. Now, I'm going to talk, before I show you any more details on the board, I'm going to talk through some caveats before we go any further. So it is still a prototype, and that means that we're using parts that aren't going to be used in the final version of the board. It's also, whilst the alphas are soldered, the modifiers aren't, and the reason for that is because there's no stabilizers in there, so I'm going to have to take it apart anyway. I didn't have any stabilizers with me, but I wanted to test out typing on this, so I shoved some switches in it, soldered it up really quickly, well, as you can see in a second, the modifiers have no stabilizers in them, so whilst things will work and it does type and everything's tested, it's not final build ready, so there'll be no typing test today because that'd just be silly. But there you go, guys, you can see. So this is the orange that we're going to be using. It's kind of half built, it's not ready for anything else. I just wanted to test out some of the stuff inside. The base of it, as you can see, this is the same colour as the previous one that I showed on stream. There is some internal changes. The base is exactly the same. This is the J-02 grey that if you guys have got a space grey J-02, this is the grey you're getting. It's kind of everything from silver to grey to black depending on the light. As you can see, it's absolutely stunning. So there you go. Just to talk about the board, guys, so inside, I'll show the insides off when we do the build stream for it, which isn't going to be too far away. We're not really quite sure off that just yet, and the reason for that is because we've got some parts made out of a material that we're not going to use in the final version of the board. So Flex and I have got some parts in here that are made of metals. They're not going to be made of metals in the final version. They're going to be made of plastics, and we'll reveal details of those later on. But this board is maglev, and this board is floating on magnetic repulsion right now. Can I show how much it moves up and down? Sure. You guys want to see? You guys want to see it from the back? And you can kind of see, if you look towards this end of it, guys, if you look towards the right hand side of the screen, you can see that it follows all of the way across. It's not flex. It's not flex, remember. This is magnetic levitation. Again, from here, from this angle. Flex, you are flex, yeah. But the board isn't flexing, it's magnetic levitation, guys. It's resting on a pocket of air that's held up by the magnetic repulsion. It's not it's not anything else. So you guys can see there is a ton of movement in there. The whole thing does move up and down. As I say, ignore any sounds at the minute because we're still working on some of the internals, but the whole thing does move up and down. I'll try and show you how that looks from above. It's probably not the best angle for it. Doesn't take a ton of pressure. It's so comfortable to type on. Like, I cannot tell you guys how comfortable this is to type on. Like, you don't deflex it much when you're under normal typing pressure, but it just feels like you're typing on butter. It's like it's something else. Before we build this, I want to send this to Flex, because with round 1 prototypes we did 2, we did 1 each. With round 2 we only did 1, and then round 3 of the prototypes is going to be done by Salvin, who I think's watching. Salvin, you know you've got this coming. He's already got the materials for it, we've already paid for it and everything, we're just waiting to get the files verified. So I'm going to send this to Flex in the next week or so once I've done the full build and everything else and we're happy with it, and put stabilizers in it, of course. And we are going to change some of the materials inside for different things, but then we will do a full-on build stream. I will show you guys how it does work on the inside. I will show you guys how the magnets work. You can actually customize this a little bit more. This is the base configuration. If this is too soft for you, there will be a secondary configuration where you can make it a little bit firmer to type on. So there we go. Zlobby, we will show you how that works on the inside, because some of the materials I say we've got in here right now are not the final materials that we'll use. So I want to show you guys that when we've got the final one. But I did want to show you guys today that this base looks stunning. The orange looks great. I'll try and take a picture of the next to the car tomorrow as well for you guys that are interested in that. And as you can see, there is a whole lot of movement in there. And that doesn't take much pressure at all. That's... yeah. Will it be raffle? We haven't planned the group buy or anything else that we're going to run for it yet. This is way off in the future at the minute. You know, at least a few weeks away before we announce anything else on that. Flex has to try this version out first and foremost. You know, I mean, he's tried the previous version out. He's still got his version of the previous one. He needs to try this version out. He needs to make sure he's happy with it as well. My say so is not good enough for anyone other than me, and you guys shouldn't take it from that. I need to wait until Flex has seen it as well. I'm going to send it to him. There's a couple of tweaks that we know we need to make, just really minor things. They're not difficult at all. We know we need to change some of the materials on the inside. We just used what we could get quickly and easily to be able to put it together to test. So there we go. The orange is not the same as my Xen. The orange is actually slightly closer to my Datsun than you can get with Cerakote. So because the car's metallic, this is kind of a closer colour because it's anodized and it's more metallic than the flat colour on the Cerakote. But the oranges are quite different. What I'll try and do tomorrow is, if it's as sunny as it is today, I will get the Datsun out, I will park it on the drive, and I'll put this board and the Xen on the bonnet, and I'll take some nice pictures, and we'll do that. Am I willing to explain why we weren't happy with the first prototype? We had done we'd gone too wide on the tolerances, so we'd let the tolerances be too far apart, and things didn't align the way we needed them to. And we'd also made some miscalculations when it came to the magnet positioning, so we needed to redo it. This works much better. We are not doing a typing test of this board today because there's no stabilizers in it. The switches are not lubed. It's literally a thrown together kind of build, so it wouldn't be fair on the board. It wouldn't be fair on what I want to show you guys, but there will be one coming. But I am going to show you this flex. That's in the standard position, and that's kind of how much movement there is in there. You can see the whole thing moving. Even when you look over at this far side, you can still see some movement. So there we go. There we go, guys. Lodestone is coming, and this proof of concept, I'll show you in this top corner again, guys, as well. This doesn't take much pressure. I mean, it's really easy to make it move. Like, you can feel it when you type on it. You can feel like just how soft it is. It's like, I don't want to say it's flexible, like tapping on a flexible board, because it's really not. It's so different to that, because you're feeling the whole thing move, and it's just really different. V seems to be crooked. The keys may be crooked. I say this is the alphas are soldered in, and the keycaps are shoved on. Like, I did this in literally 30 seconds before I packed it up at the warehouse and came home to stream. So I think the V's actually straight, but some of these caps are crooked because there's no stabilizers underneath them. You can see it moves around way too much, and you see there's no stabilizers in here. It's just chucked together. I've typed a little bit on it for maybe 10 minutes, and that's about it. So there we go. There is way more flexibility in this than there is Unicorn. Oh, way more movement. I'm going to call it movement. I don't want to call it flexibility, but way more movement. You guys can see there, just at that angle, just how much it does move. So there we go. So that is the Lodestone, guys. I hope you like that. I hope you like that. It's like typing on something else. I don't know what else that else is, but it is not like typing on a board that we're used to in the community. It's very different, but it works. It's here. You know, you guys can see it in all four corners. It does all of the movement. This corner is slightly restricted because of one tiny thing. The JST connector bottoms out before the board does, so we would need to adjust that. It's one of the small adjustments we need to make. But you can see there is a huge amount of movement in there. So there we go. Weird movement, but okay. Yeah. How's the weight? I can show you the weight of the board, actually. It's not a hugely heavy board, but it's not designed to be. One of the other things as well, guys, is we're not going to ruin this base by putting feet on it. This base is how it's going to come, so bear that in mind. That's how it's going to come, because this is too nice to put bump-ons on. This is too nice to put large bits of rubber in it. It's just such a nice shape. So there we go. We're not going to include magnets of different strengths, so I'm going to measure this in grams first. So weigh this in grams. So 1.55 kilograms, give or take. So 1.5 kilos. And for those of you in America, that's 3.66 pounds. So there you go, 3.66 pounds. So there you go. Will it slip on desk mats? It'll move on desk mats, but it's not going to slip under normal typing. No. Like anything will move under desk mats. This has got rubber bump-ons on it. It'll still move on a desk mat. But yeah, it's going to be fine. How much machining went into that base? Some machining went into that base. Does it hover slightly over the table? No, it sits flush. It sits flush. The reason why we like this grey and this kind of gradient though for this kind of slope here and the shape it is because if you catch it from the side view when it's on a desk, it kind of almost does look like it's floating, which is kind of nice. So there we go. So there you go. J-01 will be later on in the stream. Was timing, I think this is 7 degrees, I think, if I remember right. I think it's 7, might be 6. I'll have to check with Flex and just refresh my memory on that. Flexman, if you were there, confirm the angle, please, sir. Yeah, the carbon fibre. So the reason we've gone carbon fibre is because we didn't want to use a metal plate because metals interact with magnets and that would be bad. So we didn't want to do anything like that. We looked at POM, but POM brings in too much flexibility into the plate and we need it to be quite rigid to make sure it supports the magnets in all the different weird and wonderful ways that it needs to, rather than bending the plate out of position. So we couldn't use anything like POM or acetal or anything like that. We couldn't use anything like polycarbonate, so we settled on carbon fibre, so it's really strong. So there we go. Will FR4 work? Potentially, but I haven't tried it. I'm not sure we will. I think we'll just stick to the carbon fibre. So yeah, we'll just stick to this. Magnets don't cause issues with the PCB. No. No. I do like carbon fibre, but it just happens to be the best material of choice. FR4 would be the second material of choice for this particular design board. Carbon fibre, probably my favourite material as it is, but it works because of magnets. I wouldn't want to put a 5mm plate in this because it would ruin the sensation that you get from the magnets. The magnets, remember, mount to the plate, so if you put a 5mm plate in there, you would reduce the amount of travel that you've got. So there we go. Either way, we would make the plate files available, so you could always go and get another plate if you wanted to, but we'd probably just put this one here. What about the rest of the metallic parts, e.g. stabs and leaves? So it's not going to affect it. Like we've typed on this, this works. I don't have a daughter board in here at the minute. I did take it out for something else, but it works. Like it physically types, even when it's floating. So there we go. Price point, we're going to talk about that later on. The magnets are not cheap. It does put the price up. We need to work out the price. We need to work out how many we're going to do, and that will all be rolled into the group buy once we've got a finalised version of this. So when I actually do build stream, I'll probably have more information on dates and prices and all of that kind of stuff there as well. Colours, yes, we know what colours we want to offer. We've already agreed on most of them. There will be a lime green, the bright orange, and something else. And that's as far as we're going to get to. Don't know in terms of group buy or raffle. Probably group buy, but we may raffle it. I'll speak to Flex and we will agree that together. We haven't talked it through yet. This orange will be one of the oranges, yes. Or as close as we can get to this, because we're going to use Salvin for the manufacturing, not the manufacturer that made this, but Salvin's already aware of that, so that's a challenge we're going to go through. Neon pink is not confirmed. Just by Yuri, because Yuri looks great on it, right? Yuri looks fantastic on it. Although I do have a slight issue. I bought this set second hand, and the K key has got some damage on it, so I'm going to change that to the Cyrillics at some point, most likely. No more comments on colours, no more comments on price. That'll all come out later on. This is just finally we've got a version of the prototype that we're happy to share, and that's what I wanted to do today, is share this with you. I need to send it to Flex. He needs to be happy with this as it stands right now. Then I'll do a build stream of it with the correct materials on the inside, and I'll show you guys how it works. And then we'll talk about group buy, pricing, and all that kind of stuff. We have not typing tested this because there's no stabilizers in it. The switches aren't lubed, and some things are soldered and some things aren't. I just wanted to do it. So right now is we're going to move over to the the Fox Lab Key65, if we can get it right, the Fox Lab Key65. There is an interest check thread for the Lodestone. It's on Geek Hack. You can go check that out. Hugh's already put it in. There you go. when do we have the final prototype? So we should have the final prototype within the next 3 or 4 weeks. We just wait. This will be the final prototype. We're just waiting for some internal parts to swap out. That's all. So this will be the final prototype. We're just waiting for some internal parts. One of them is the gasket that sits around the top, and yeah, I'll show you the rest of it later. So there you go, guys. That is the Lodestone. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just show you this movement once more. Gotta love that. Gotta love some magnets. Okay, time to build the Fox Lab Key65, and then we'll show the J-01 right towards the end of the stream. Make it unlimited. Unlimited group buys are risky and fraught with quality control problems. Maybe we'll see. I'm not averse to doing that, but it's something that Flex and I have to agree together. So there we go. So the magnets should be good for 50 years. After 50 years, you will need to replace them. I will tell you what magnets they are when we do the group buy, so you will have the measurements for them. So in 50 years, you can go and buy some more magnets. Now, of course, I can't test them for 50 years, but when it comes around to me actually building this board will have been in use for at least a month, and we'll know from that how the magnets are reacting. But 50 years is kind of the estimated lifespan from the manufacturer in this use case. The lifespan of magnets is reduced when you repel constantly. So if you're attracting, the lifespan of magnets doesn't decrease. It lasts, you know, almost indefinitely. It lasts a really long time, like hundreds and hundreds of years. The manufacturer is comfortable telling me that if they're in constant repulsion, they will last for 50 years. So I can only go by the manufacturer, but you know, it is what it is. So there we go. Cool. Only group buys are cruel on Jay. It's not about that. It's about. So if I do a group buy, the reason why I tend to limit the numbers that I do to like 50 or 100 boards is because that's what I can do in one weekend, so everyone gets their board at broadly the same time, unless there's a couple that have small issues. So 90% of people who join the group buy will get their boards shipped on the same day. If I do unlimited and it sells significantly more than what a limited group buy would do, then that means that people are getting their boards spread out over a period of time, and I'm not really someone who likes to do that. So yeah, we'll see. Did the menu have a typo and added a 0? No, I checked it multiple times. That's what they confirmed. Yeah, that's what they confirmed. 50 years in that kind of position. But yeah, either way, we'll make sure that people know which magnets are, so they'll be able to replace them in the future if they need to. So there we go. Cool. Okay, time to take a look at Huey's, or I think it's Huey in chat, Huay in chat, but this is his Fox Lab Key65. And this is what we're going to build today. So I've briefly looked at this board earlier on today because I just wanted to make sure I'd got the tools at home, because I'm in the process of moving everything from here to my office, the prototypist office, and all my streams from a couple of weeks time will be done from up there. So half my tools are up there and half of them are here, and half of my boards are up there and half of them are here. So not man of interest, no, Huey from the UK, he's in chat, Huay, he's in chat. He posted the link to Geekhack a few minutes ago in chat, so that's how you'll find him. So I did have to have a look at the board. I wasn't going to look at the board until I did the build just now, but yeah, I had to. Nice inclusion of some little alcohol pads for cleaning at the end, which is nice. I like that. Focus camera, there you go. It's quite nice. Some gloves. Now these irritate my skin. These gloves are the type of material they are irritates my skin. I do get quite bad eczema, so my skin breaks a lot, and this is irritating me. So Hugh, I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to wear these gloves because they will irritate my skin. But I will send them back to you. So there you go. In terms of the board, we have got a polycarbonate plate, which is crazy flexible. We've got some foam. Now this is really interesting because this is really dense, thick foam as well. Like this feels almost like rubber. I haven't opened this up to take a look at it. Yeah, it is. It's almost like a rubbery substance. So this is a really, really interesting material. Huey has asked that I don't put this in the board. He doesn't want me to build with this. So we're not going to be putting that in the board today. But that's a really interesting material. It's really thick, really rubbery, really thick and rubbery. It's really nice stuff. But Huey's asked not to use that. So yeah, we won't be using that on this particular build. That's just going to go to one side, and Huey can do that what he wants. Then we have a PCB. PCB looks pretty nice. USB-C central. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty nice. I'm hoping Hugh tested this. There we go. It's a pretty nice looking PCB. I'm not so sure I like this logo. What do you guys think of the logo? Be honest, guys. Do you think that that's a good logo? Do you like it? What do you think? Does it have a reset button? It does have a reset button just here, but I won't be programming it. I'll leave that to Huey. In fact, that doesn't actually feel like a button. There we go. It wasn't pressing. The button was actually so I don't. You see the button? It was actually caught. It's actually sat at an angle. It's not flat. It was actually caught underneath the lip of it. So it's a good job you mentioned that button because that was not working. So there we go. Yeah, the F's off center, but it's supposed to be a key, right? That's supposed to be the handle, and that's supposed to be the bit that goes into the lock. That's supposed to be a key that you turn. I don't know. I'm just not keen on that logo personally. I just don't think I like it. Like if I was going to do a key in the hobby, I think Key Cult have got it right with their logo, but Fox Key, I don't know. It just doesn't quite feel right. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Not a fan of the Key65 logo. Clever but compositionally off. Something looking pretty hot on screen, and it's not Jay. Thanks, man. Thanks. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. On the back, apparently, it has an issue where you can bottom out the PCB and hit the bottom on the bottom of the case. Oh dear. Reset needs to be desoldered. Okay, okay. Someone tell me a bit more about this. Why does the reset need to be desoldered? Huey, you did not tell me about this. Some users have issues with the reset button triggering during use. Oh, is that because it presses on the bottom of the case? Is that what Hugh is talking about? On the back, apparently, it has an issue where you can bottom out the PCB and hit the bottom. Oh, right, okay. So, if you want me to desolder it, Hugh, I can. I'll do that off stream. It's up to you. But it was actually depressed already, so we would have had problems from the start if I hadn't noticed it. But I can you want to desolder it? Fine. Okay, so I'll leave it soldered on. You can desolder it when you get the board in. And we'll go from there. I mean, I could flush cut it off now, but my desoldering iron is up at the unit. I don't want to flush cut it off. Yeah, I don't want to use flush cutters. Okay, cool. Yeah, it'll be a 2-second job to take it out. I just don't have the tool with me today. Okay, and then here's the board, guys. This is the board. I'm gonna get this out. There we go. So it's actually pretty damn light. So we've got some rubber gaskets and bump-ons in there, which would be quite nice. There we go, guys. Not my fingerprints. This is the first time I've touched the board. Not my fingerprints. There, Huey's. There's the logo. That is infilled already. That's infilled. That acrylic. Is that a piece screwed in? We need to have a look at that because I think that's a piece that's screwed in. And then the weight on the back. Again, infilled as well. That's pretty neat work. Oh, so that is an actual insert that's placed in. It's not paint or anything like that. It's actually a physical insert that's been milled and placed in. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the logo, but I respect the workmanship here. This is a milled piece of metal that's been slotted in. That's pretty nice. It's pretty clever. Really smooth. It's very well done. Yeah, it's not infill. No, it's an infill by part. Yeah, it's a part, and then of course you've got the logo on the inside as well. The Key65 designed by Fox Lab since 2016. So there you go, guys. There you go. Yeah, it's physically screwed in. You can see the screw just there. That logo on the outside is physically screwed in. It's actually a piece that's been milled and put in. That's a lot of work. I think we should take a look at that. Okay, before we get on with the build, and I'll just show you the switches we're going to use as well. So we are going to be using ink switches. I'm also going to be using Durox stabilizers that have been sent by Huey as well. We're going to be using 205G2 for the stabilizers, and he has already lubed his own switches. So I'll let him tell you in chat if you're interested in how they've been lubed. Yeah, there's no weight to this. It's very light. Let's take a look at these logos and how they've been infilled because that's really interesting. Actually machined pieces in there to fill in the logos. So technically it is still an infill, it's just not a painted infill, it's a physical infill. The Durox, the switches, I thought they were inks. I thought that we inked. I haven't even opened these. I haven't even looked at them. I haven't even looked at them. He's right. They're not inks. They're Durox. Wow. There you go. Wow. I just looked at the bag and saw inks. I was very wrong. So there we go, guys. There we go. The nice linears. The L7 Smoky. Yeah. They're very, very smooth. They're very smooth. They're good. Someone has razor sharp eyes. Well, it's Huey's board. He knows. Scam inks. Maybe. Did I miss the Lodestone stuff? Yeah, you did miss the Lodestone. You haven't missed the J-01 review though, because that's going to be right at the end of the stream. So I'm going to be showing off the J-01 towards the end of the build stream. So we're going to do the build first, and then we're going to be doing the J-01 reveal. It was completely random as to which board we looked at first. I wasn't aware of which order they were in the pile. I just picked the first one up. But we already have looked at the Lodestone, and you can go back and check the order for that if you want to have more details on it. If you do split backspace, it may not work. Something to do with how the PCB pad's not connecting to the top and bottom. I don't think he wants split backspace. He has sent me a... let me check this. He has sent me... where is it? A layout that he wants. Oh, he does want split backspace. Okay, he does want split backspace. We'll test it. We'll see. Huey, if you want to change it, you have a little bit of time to tell me. Yeah, the housing material is slightly different for these though. Do you split backspace? Gotcha. No worries, dude. The housing is slightly different because it's translucent, not opaque, so the will sound slightly different. These feel really good though. These feel really good. Like really good actually. Yeah, you could always put a jump in later on. I don't like to do jumps with polycarbonate boards, but you could absolutely do that. Okay, so I'd forgot that this was a 3-piece construction, but there we go. This is the base. We'll take a look at this first. I'm going to take this weight out, and then I'm going to take a look at how the badge is held in on the bottom, because that's really interesting to me. ANSI UK. Can't unsee spills on the mat. Yeah, sorry guys, I do have some marks on the mat. I do build keyboards on here pretty much every week, so marks do happen. So you see here, guys, we've got a little screw. I'm going to undo that, and that should get us to take a look at this part here. Try this. So I'm just going to hold it in with my finger just in case it does drop out. Yeah, I can already feel it moving. So there you go. That's actually pretty cool. Just a single screw hole in the middle to hold it all in. It's e-white metal. It's pretty cool. Has some tiny, tiny workmanship in there. Probably a 1mm radius bit. It's pretty cool. There you go, guys. You can see it's milled out perfectly on the other side. Really cool. So Who's-a-Return, you have missed the first. Sorry if I pronounced that right. Who's-ya Tom? You have missed the first unboxing, which we did of one prototype. You have not missed the second one. So we've done the Lodestone. We have yet to do the J-01 redesign. That's going to come up at the end of the stream. Uses a keyring. Yeah, that's really cute. I mean, there's some slight issues with tolerances here. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but there is some slight movement there. I've not tightened the screw up fully. There is a tiny bit of movement. Like I can feel it moving. Don't know if you can hear it. No, probably not. But there is a little bit of movement in there. Let me see if tightening it a little bit tighter fixes that. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Okay. Time to put the weight back in. Hey Salvin, good to see you, man. Glad to see you on stream. I'm doing fine, dude. I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much for asking that. Maybe the logo is cast instead of milled. It's definitely milled. You can see the radius is where it's being milled. It's not cast. but it's some fine, tiny little work. Be cool to have different magnets available for the Lodestone. It's not really possible. They need to be a certain size and shape and repel in a certain direction, so it's not really possible to do different magnets. You can make it stronger if you want to, rather than the base configuration. If you want to make it more firm, you can. There is a potential option to do that, but that's it. This feels like it's just aluminium. I don't know if they did a brass version. That does not feel like brass. I can't tell without it, but the weight of it doesn't feel like it's brass. It feels like it's aluminium. Okay, looking at the rest of the case, there should be 2 pieces here, if I remember correctly, that should come apart. There we go. I'm not always a fan of these boards that have 3 layers in the middle sometimes. You'll see why later on. Maybe something else has changed from this, but especially in polycarbonate, like in metals, it makes sense because they're rigid, but this has so much movement to it. But it looks great. You can see here the indentations for this is where the gaskets sit, just here. So we'll be able to put those into place. Okay, and then this is the inside of the top, and again this is where the plate sits. So you put the plate into here, then you put this piece on, and you put it that way, and then there's gaskets that sit here and all around the edges then sit on here as well. You can see the corresponding gaskets on this part too. So there we go. 3-layer boards, the irony here. Yeah, you'll see, guys. I'll talk to you about something in a bit. I'll talk to you about something in a bit. It's just aluminium, yeah. Okay, so that's those 2 parts. That goes that way around and just sits on there like so. Is that right? No. Like so. Interesting. Okay. Ugh. Don't want to get stuck. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at the little badge on the top here, because this does intrigue me as well, because I think this one's removable, and I think we're going to find exactly the same as on the previous one. That this is just going to pop out and just be a little key. Okay, so that's a screw out. This one feels like it's a bit more firmly in. If this doesn't come out easily, I'm not going to force it out. Okay. Okay, so the tolerances are much tighter here. So this doesn't want to come out unless I get it just right. So here you go, guys. This is the tiny little key. It's a nice thick part. They've not skimped on this. Look how tiny that's been milled. It's pretty cool. Now, the cool thing about this is that the tolerances here is much tighter. It's much... I mean, this just fits perfectly. That's a really, really nice thing. It would be hell if it was a thin part. Yeah, they probably made it thicker to make it easier to machine. But that's a really nice fit. Like, that's unbelievably good. Like, I cannot impress on you guys how well that fits in there. Like, you if this was a thicker, more heavier part, then you could put that on there and it didn't have the hole underneath. I don't think the part would go in. It would just bounce because the tolerances are that tight. It's really tight. Very well done. It's almost more like EDC than anything else. Impressive considering they're doing a limited group buy. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Right, before we do any more with the board, it is time to put together the PCB and the plate. So we're not going to desolder the reset key. Hughie's going to do that on his own. He's confirmed that he's comfortable doing that, so we'll leave that to him. We have got gaskets and things to install in the case, which we'll do later on. The first thing we need to do is make sure everything lines up, get some stabilizers in, and then we can go from there. I think this needs to be cut open. How many keys sold in the end? I think it was about 800 from what I heard, but I don't know if there was any official numbers called out, but someone did mention to me that it was 800 of them. I don't know if I've opened one side and it's falling out of the other side. What an idiot. I didn't realise that the other side was open. Oh well. Sorry, Huey. I ruined your bag, but it's fine. Okay, so this is interesting. It's smooth on one side, it's rough on the other. It's been sandblasted on the other. There is a scratch on this, not from me. I don't know if you were aware of that, but there is a scratch just down here. It looks like it's been done with a knife. Starts just here, comes. In fact, it starts up there. Yeah. Not me, dude. So I'm not going to take the blame for that. But there we go. Plate sits nicely. Looks good. Okay, time to get some stabilizers then. There are some imperfections when you opened it. Yeah. Okay. So for this build, we are going to go with the 7U spacebar. Is that 7U or is that 6.25? 7U. 7U spacebar. And enter and full left shift. So that is the compatibility that we've got here. And so we are going to be using some lube that Huey's provided himself. This is a 205 G2. So this is what he's provided. That's what we're going to be using for the stabilizers. Let's see if we can make these sound quite nice. These are Durex stabilizers as well, in the smoky grey, just to match the switches. Looks pretty nice. Yes. Help if I remembered what I was doing. Going to put a fair amount on here. We want it to be nice and evenly coated so that we're going to get rid of any rattle. We don't want to put too much on there, especially considering this is a thick lube, and then lose all feeling of the key. So I'm just going to make sure we've got enough on there, but not too much. And then we're going to pop that into the housing on this side. Just going to twist it around a little bit, just make sure we get a nice even coverage. Move it up and down a few times. Looks good. Pretty sure it does, looking at the PCB and plate, does what, sorry? The PCB and plate supports additional layouts. It does support ANSI. I don't know what we're talking that it may not support. What are you guys talking about? Can it use split backspace with this board? Seems to have PCB. Yes, you can use split backspace with this, yes. It's supported, but they didn't connect the traces, so you need to jump it. Okay, Huey has confirmed that that's the layout he wants. He didn't mention it to me before the stream that that was an issue, so I'll leave him to fix that, but I'm sure it'll be good. The perfect application is by dipping it straight into the... No, I find that that adds too much. Okay, so now we're just going to take a really light amount, and we're just going to lube the sides of the sliders, just to make sure there's a good, even coverage on here. It's always easy to add more later on, rather than add too much now. So I'd add a little bit, and then if it's not working for how you like to your stabilizer to feel, sound, all that kind of stuff, you can always add more later on. And just because it's a thick lube, I'm just going to put a small amount on the base of the stabilizer as well. Okay. Still plenty of lube on the brush, don't need to add any more just yet. Hey, 10 Strong, good to see you, 10 Strong. I've not seen you on stream for some time, so glad to have you here, dude. Glad to have you here, man. Okay. And there we go, that is spacebar stabilizer ready. It's now time to do the stabilizers for the 2U keycaps and greater. So we've got a full left shift, and we've also got the ANSI end to do. Did everyone move on from Band-Aid modding? Yeah, a lot of people dislike it. I personally dislike it. Huey hasn't asked me to do it, so I won't be doing it on this particular board. I feel it always makes the board sound mushy, and it makes the stabs, sorry, it makes the subs feel mushy, and it just stops the sound of the spacebar. It just makes it sound a bit weird, so I tend to prefer not to do it. Good to be back around. Glad to see it, Tenster. I'm glad to hear it. I think I saw you rejoined the Top Clock Discord the other day, so glad to have you back, dude. way too much lube on the brush then. I think Band-Aid mod is only useful in the silent switches build. That's fair. I mean, if you go back far enough, a lot of the early Korean mods were doing things like putting tiny bits of foam in here, so they push tiny bits of foam inside the stabilizer and the housing. That was a really interesting mod. I bought a couple of keyboards early days that were Korean keyboards that had that mod applied to them. It was a very interesting feeling. It's not something I'd go back to now though. The pre-lube days. Koreans were ahead of the time, absolutely. I mean, they started the hobby off kind of. You know, there were things that were out there before, you know, anywhere else in the world had kind of like really looked at them. I hate stabs. These ones ain't all my 205. Man, you've got a HBCP. I'm jealous. That is one board that I absolutely want. Okay. The good thing about these thicker lubes as well is you can always add more lube later on if you need to as well. Spray lubing switch is a hot topic in the Korean group now. Spray lubing. Interesting. I'm not a fan of tub lubing if I can help it. I have done it once or twice on a couple of sets of switches. I always tend to find that it just overlubes a little bit too much for me. Just a little bit too much overlubes. When I'm trying to lessen the amount of wobble in clip-in snaps on cheaper boards like the Proto, should I raise a piece of plastic bag rather than pieces of a paper towel? So I use cling film. If it depends on what you mean by wobble. It depends on what you mean. If you mean that the keycap's not sitting on the stabilizer housing, so if you mean on the insert, the keycap's not sitting on that properly, you can put like some saran wrap over the top and then put it on. That's fine, but I wouldn't use anything thicker than that. You'll just damage the keycap. If that's what you mean by wobble, because it entirely means what you depend by wobble. Now we're on the third and final stabilizer, so I'm just going to give this one a good lubing. And then once we've done this one, we'll start to put these in the board. And then once we've done this board, we'll then take a look at the J-01 redesign, because that's the secondary prototype that I'm ready to show you guys today. And when did you switch sides of the Atlantic? It's just easier for me to say that because more people know what it is if I say saran wrap. I know my audience, Flex. You're one of the few Brits that are following. I bet. Like, let's do a test here, guys. If you're from the USA, put USA into chat. If you're from the UK, put UK into chat. Or EU, put EU into chat. Let's see. If you're anywhere in the Europe, put EU into chat. If you're from the USA, put USA into the chat. If you're from wherever else you are, put your put the initials of your country in. Let's just see how many people are here from. See if I'm right, because I think most viewers are going to be from the US. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Singapore. Okay, cool. Some further afield ones. Nice. Wow. Okay, so maybe I was slightly wrong. Maybe I was slightly wrong. Okay. I was slightly wrong. Okay. That was an interesting little test. You guys, of course, have to decide a key set for me as well shortly as well. So if someone wants to get ready to set up a straw poll, because I forgot to do it again, I will tell you the 2 key sets I've got beside of me, and when we get to it, we can do a straw poll for that. Did I leave the bottom of those? No. Okay, Huey sent me all this lube, and there must be 30 grams of lube here, or 60 milliliters or something. And I've used a fraction of it, but there we go. You know what cling film is? Cling film. We call it cling film, not clean film. Cling film, as in clingy, as in it'll suck onto you. Cling film is what we call it in the UK. Okay. What are the key set choices? So the key set choices are, what have I got here? GMK Retro and GMK 9s. Those are the two I have to hand. You've got loads more. Nice, nice. I think Zapri has taken it upon himself to set up a straw poll, if I can get my words out. So there we go. Okay, so let's put the stabilizers into the PCB. We're not doing that. We're doing ANSI enter. I'll put it in the right spot. Sometimes these Durox stabilizers are really, really tight to get into the PCBs. There you go. It goes in with a resounding clip. There we go. What's the board in the top right corner? Up here? There's no board up there. There isn't a board up there. Okay. Again, remember guys, when you're tightening the screws for these stabilizers, you're not trying to squish the board, you're just going relatively tight. So I don't really know much about keyboards. Where can I go to learn about them? People go in a lot of depth, and I realised, yeah, there's a whole thing out there, dude. So Quality Garbage, if you are interested, you might want to check out some sites such as Geek Hack. You could also check out Keeb Talk. People, put links in chat. Throw links at Quality Garbage. Show this guy some links. Okay, so that's that stabilized up. It's looking quite okay. Let's put the left shift stabilizer in. Throw some links in chat, guys. Come on, guys. Get some links in there. Geek Hack, there you go. There's also Keep Talk and a few other forums that you can use. Reddit has a huge mechanical keyboard subsection to it, subreddit, so you can check that out as well, /r/mechanical keyboards. And there is a corresponding second-hand aftermarket type place as well, which is called mechmarket /r/mechmarket. Keyboard University as well is a great place to start. Yes, that's run by a vendor called the Key Company. They have the Keyboard University, which kind of gives you a good run through of everything you could possibly need to know to start you off. A lot of the more advanced topics are missing from there just yet, but a lot of the simpler kind of entry level stuff is definitely there. I suppose cling film will also work on the clip-in stabs, clip-ins to the plate then, lucky that knife actually. Okay, I'm not quite sure what you mean, Unicorn, but I hope it works out for you. Okay, and then we're going to go with the 7U spacebar. So I'm just going to work out which holes this needs to be in. There we go. That's easily done. And then I think the rest of it is limited by the plate, so we should be okay from the rest of the build. Okay. There we go, that's our stabilizers in place. There you go, some good links coming up there, guys. Thank you very much for sharing that. Let's get Quality Garbage linked up so he knows what he's talking about. Are we going to give this community score later on? No. So I am in the process of changing how the J-score spreadsheet works and everything else. And I'm going to change it from being a J-score to being a community score. That is 100% going to happen. I just need to work out the best way to do it. I haven't had time to sit down and just think it through and work out how I'm going to do it. So at some point soon that will happen, but I'm just not quite ready to do that yet. Okay, so the plate's looking good. It's all going to sit nice and neatly. It's really hard to show you guys that. Let me show you a bit closer up. There you go. Look how close that is. There you go. So now it's time to pop in some switches. We're going to start at the centre and work our way out. That's just because this is a really flexible plate, so I don't want it to be too difficult to get the switches in and to keep the plate aloft and separate from the PCB in the right position. So we're just going to start off with 2 switches right in the centre, and I think this is going to be Yeah, so this is all going to fall apart quite easily. I think we might have to solder some switches first and then come back. So I'm probably going to solder these two in the centre first, do one in each corner, solder those in, and then once we've done that, I'll put the rest of the switches in. I was thinking about building a Twitch chatbot for app for managing JScore and community score. Functional, that would be amazing if you could do that. That would be absolutely fantastic. I did look at getting some bots that could average scores and things like that. It wasn't great. I did look Blind Panda as well at doing kind of a Google sheet, and when I looked at the permissions for it and stuff, it was kind of bad. And then I looked at doing straw polls, but then it's a different straw poll for every question. It just takes too long, so I kind of need it to be quite quick. Rectangular cutout in the plate where the stabilizer clips into it, top plank. Sorry for being clumsy explaining things. Oh, I see what you mean. So these are plate mounted stabilizers and you're putting them into the plate. Right, okay. Sorry. No, not you being clumsy. It's just me being slow and concentrating on too many things at once. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. I mean, the real answer is change the stabilizers, but that's not always possible depending on the board. I'm just going to solder one pin on each of these in first, just to hold it together. I'm going to then quickly put the four corner switches in. I'm just going to solder one pin on each of those, and then we'll move into the actual soldering part. And of course, guys, this part is where you can tag me, ask me any question. It doesn't have to be related to keyboards. It can be related to anything you like. You can ask me a question about anything that crosses your mind, as long as it's Twitch safe and doesn't break terms of service. I will answer it to the best of my ability. All you need to do is do @topclack, and say whatever your question is. So you can ask me anything you would like. It can be keyboard related, it can be personal related, and as long as it doesn't break Twitch terms of service and I'm comfortable answering the question, I will answer that question for you guys. So get ready, because we're going to be doing that in just a minute when we start doing the proper soldering. So for now, I'm just going to solder these 4 switches in. We'll put the rest of the switches in there, and then you can start to ask all of the questions that you're going to ask. So save them up, guys, and it'll give me plenty to talk about as we go through the soldering, and it'll try and stop it being as boring as soldering can be for you guys to watch. So I'm just tacking in these 4 corners to begin with, nice and steadily. Solder. There we go. And then once we've done this, I'll put the switches in, and then we'll get to your questions. So start thinking about your questions, guys. You don't have to ask them straight away, but if you get them to chat, it'll give me plenty to talk through. Okay, there we go. Time to put the rest of these in the board. I'll start answering the questions now, actually, because there's a few. So make sure you ask plenty of questions, guys. Give me plenty to talk about, because this is going to be the more boring side of the stream for you. So watching a guy solder isn't really great, but listening to a guy talk about things that he enjoys.
Tasty.
Thank you very much, Chaos Skills, for the 249 bits. I genuinely appreciate them. It says, has some extra bits. Consider... I missed the text of that one. Consider this gift from the 40s Discord. Well, thank you very much, dude. Thank you. The 40s Discord is one of my favourite places to go when people are talking memes. Okay, let's start with the questions then. So Zui says, what Lego set and model are you wanting to build next? So I've got a few in the build queue for my Lego. I have my Millennium Falcon, which is the Ultimate Collector's Edition, which is huge, and it's going to take me probably a month to build it. I also have the Saturn rocket to build as well, which I'm kind of looking forward to. That shouldn't be too long of a build. I'm kind of looking forward to that one. So we'll see how that goes. And then I want to take apart my DeLorean from Back to the Future and rebuild it, just because it's kind of got a little bit dusty and it just needs cleaning and tidying up a little bit. And I'd probably do the same with the Ecto-1, the Ghostbusters car as well. So I'll probably do them at the same time, because they've just been sat on my windowsill for about 2 years now, and they're just a little bit dirty. So I probably those are probably my next 4 builds. Depleted Vespine says, our Duruk stabs are worth replacement for old cherry stabs. Yes, I would say they're probably the best on the market, all things considered right now. If you include price and everything else in there, they're probably the best on the market. Old cherry stabs, the clipping ones, are pretty good though if you take them out of a vintage board. Just change the wires and keep the stabilizers, because the housings have been that used and heavily worn that they're actually kind of smooth. Just make sure you put them back in the place that you took them from. So put the ends one on ends, put the backspace one on backspace, if you're going to reuse them in another board. If you could recommend 5 films that everyone should watch, what would they be? 5 movies that everyone should watch. The first one would be 12 Angry Men, because it's a really clever film about introspection and about how you should question things in life, and how you should go forwards, and that maybe things aren't always what they seem. So that's a film that I would absolutely recommend people watch right now. It's probably really, really pressing given the fact of everything that's happening in the world as well at the minute. So 12 Angry Men, that would be my first recommendation. It teaches a lot about the psychology of the human mind and what things can kind of change opinions and all of that kind of stuff. Because of course we can change our opinions without being a hypocrite, guys. You can change your opinion and be growing and learning as a person. That doesn't make you a hypocrite. So remember that, guys. Remember. So that would be number 1. The second one would probably be Star Wars: A New Hope, Episode 4: A New Hope, just because it's quite possibly one of the greatest action heroic adventure movies ever made. It's just, to me, it's quintessential, and it makes up a lot of what was in my childhood. I would also add on to that the original Indiana Jones film, because I really like it. I guess we've got to kind of include a superhero movie in there as well, so I would probably pick the 1989 Batman movie, and pop that in there too. And then finally, just in something of a bit of a wild card out of left-hand side, left field, I would pick The Sound of Music, because everyone needs a good bit of a song in their life, and that story is all too relevant today, and it will be relevant forevermore as we go throughout the history of the world, and it's something that people should definitely watch. So I would pick those. You can agree to disagree with me, guys. I'm up for that debate. Oh gosh, yes, you're right. That's the blocker. I need to desol that switch. Yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you very much, whoever pointed that out. Talking and doing stabilizer too. Do you think JTK will ever grow to near the size of GMK? Probably. Though if this hobby keeps on growing the same rate as it is doing, I think absolutely JTK will have the opportunity to become as big as GMK. Whether they take that or not is a different question entirely. I suspect some of the profiles will get there first. Cat most likely. SA is already pretty big, but I think we'll see a recurrence of SA, and all of the other Signature Plastics profiles in the next year or so as well, as people try different things other than Cherry profile. What would be a good question? A good question, Kakan, would be anything that makes me think, anything that makes you happy to know about me, anything that you think you want my opinion on. And that might be nothing. There might be nothing you want my opinion on. You might hate my opinions, and that's absolutely fine. Feel free to tell me that as well. Feel free to tell me you dislike my opinions. I'm completely comfortable taking that criticism. Dingus says, did you receive any protos of the EPBC set that's running on your site? Just wondering about the state of their models. I didn't know, but all of the pictures that you see on the site that are on boards, all of the keycaps that are on keyboards, they are official prototype keycaps. They are the real thing. That's what you're going to get when you buy it. That's what you're going to get. So I'd definitely take a look at those pictures. They're quite high res. You can zoom in and you can make your choice from there. LDAR says, it's my birthday. Thanks for the Lodestone info for my birthday. No worries. Welcome. Happy birthday, dude. What would be your ultimate birthday day? What would be my ultimate birthday day? I think waking up to some good coffee is always a great start to the day. I would like to have, really, really nice coffee, breakfast, that kind of thing. Do you know what I actually pick for breakfast? I'd probably pick a McDonald's breakfast, and that sounds really horrid, but I have one about once a year, and yeah, I'd probably pick a McDonald's breakfast just because it's dirty and horrible and it's my birthday, and why the hell not? We are going for full caps lock here, guys, just because what's Hugh's presented to me on his KLE, so that's what we're going to be going. I'll remove that switch in a few minutes as well. I'll remove that first before we solder the rest of the board. The rest of the day, I'd probably like to take the dog for a nice long walk out in the country. We've got some beautiful spots within 10-15 minutes drive of where I live, so I'd probably like to take the dog out. I'd probably like to drive one of my classic cars to do that, and take it out. Nice sunny day, that kind of stuff. Just take it steady away, really. Have fun. And then just go out for a nice slap-up meal with friends and family and all of that kind of stuff. Stuff that we can't really do. Okay, let's scroll down. To piggyback on Depleted Vespian's comments, what stabs would you recommend getting? Right now I would probably recommend going for Durox stabilizers, just because they're probably the best on the market for what they are. Come on, Switch. Is that not hot? Switch removed. Sorry, Hugh, you've got a tiny pad that has been soldered that shouldn't have been. But there we go. Okay. So now we're ready to do the solving. So I shouldn't have been answering all of these questions until this point. And the music has stopped. Why has the music stopped? Why has the music stopped? Okay, the song was just silent at the end for some reason. Okay, we'll put the next song on. We'll put the next song. We'll be good. Let's scroll down. Let's see what the next question is. Shining, Training, Godfather Day, Scarface, and Matrix. Fair enough, yeah. Shawshank 5 times in a row. Good shouts. Usual Suspects, great film. Agree. 12 Angry Men, agree, is must watch. 12 Angry Men is amazing. The original, don't go for the remake, go for the original. Black and white, but hey, it's worth it. What's the difference between biscuits and cookies? Is there a British equivalent to American biscuits? We'd probably call it a scone. That's probably the closest, like a savoury scone. Yeah, we don't... So biscuits over here are what you guys would call cookies. But we have cookies that are a specific type of biscuit, which are your traditional kind of chocolate chip cookie type thing. But we call every other type of biscuits, and we have multiple different versions of them. In terms of what you guys call biscuits, though, we would probably call those scones. Okay. Seen Uncut Gems yet? I haven't. No, not yet. Did I unbox Lodestone? Yes, I showed it off right at the beginning of the stream. If you guys want, I can show it again just before we do the J-01 once this build's complete. We can just show the Lodestone again, and then we can show the J-01 prototype. Or maybe we'll do it right at the end. Maybe we'll do the Lodestone right at the end again. We'll get it out right at the very end of the stream just before we close up. But it's been fun having 2 prototypes on the stream today. We only have 2, we don't have 3, just 2. Okay. Have you ever written a program for a Turing machine? Did it work? I have not ever written a program for a Turing machine. I don't think I'd ever want to either. I'm not sure I could. Like, to pass the Turing test? I mean, I didn't realise we had any machines that passed the Turing test yet. I thought that was still like something that hadn't occurred, something that hadn't happened. Am I wrong? Has that worked? Has that been passed? Is that the first test? Is that that's the first step on the way to getting AI? Have we actually passed that yet? I figured that we hadn't, and that some of the ones that had passed were kind of like judged to have used too many tricks and things to be officially good enough. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions. Dingus says, do you have time to play video games these days, and what was the last game you really enjoyed? I kind of wish I had more time to play video games. I do really enjoy them. I just don't have the time these days. Like, genuinely, I don't have the time. I'm still halfway through Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's kind of the game that I'm playing at the minute. Along with on my Switch, I've been playing a lot of ACNH, Animal Crossing, but I haven't played it for a month or so, and my island's probably gone to ruin, and I need to sort it all out and everything else. But I just don't find the time. Like most days, even on weekends, I'm generally working at least 5 or 6 hours, with streaming, with the website, with my day job. I probably on average work about 14 hours a day at the minute, and then the rest of the time is relaxing with the wife, watching TV, walking the dog, kind of doing like just things like that. We're kind of decorating the spare bedroom at the minute as well, so I spent time sanding the walls and things earlier on today and all kind of stuff like that. So I just struggle for time to play video games. One of the things that I do want to do though, so I can take breaks whilst I'm doing quality control and things like that up at the workshop, is I actually want to put a TV and one of the PS4s up there and stuff like that, and just have like a little breakout area where I can go play video games and stuff and take a break, and where the wife can come up and she can watch a bit of TV or a bit of a movie or something whilst I'm doing stuff. So I definitely want to do that. Cube, that was a great film. Gosh, I've not seen The Cube in must be 10 years. That's a good film. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in my top 5 though, but it's a good film nonetheless. not the neatest soldering, I've got to be honest today. The pads are quite big. It's okay, it's not terrible. Okay, we'll give it a clean before we send it back to you here. Chocolate chip biscuits, way to destroy alliteration. J. Well, hey, alliteration's one thing. Scone, either's fine, both are correct. There's no argument to be had. Zapri, you can say either and be correct. Yeah, you can say scone or you can say scone. It depends on where you're from in the UK. There is no real... It doesn't really matter. Everyone knows what you're talking about, so say it whichever way you feel more comfortable with. And you're right, because that's where you grew up from. It's like saying, you know, any word, like tomato and tomato. There's two different ways of saying it, but hey, neither's right, neither's wrong. Aluminium and aluminum, both are correct. You know, you can't argue against it. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just pronunciation, guys. We know what everyone means. We can get through it. Neopet starved. Oh, is the Turing machine related to the Turing test? So, okay, interesting. So the Turing machine that I know of is the one that he used. If you're speaking specific machines, the Turing test, the machine that I know of, is the one that was used to break the Enigma code back in World War II, right? That he did in Bletchley Park and all of that kind of stuff with his code breakers and everything else. That's the only Turing machine I know of. I've never written anything for that in terms of coding or anything like that. I've never tried to write a code or a cipher or even tried to decipher one, but I kind of have a broad understanding of what it is. The Turing test, I thought it was just related to the Turing test, and I thought that's what you were asking a question about. Apologies. Sometimes in the flow of stuff, I'm like doing three things at once, gets caught up in it, but there we go. That's not my mouse. Okay, yeah, sorry, Gabman. I didn't know that. I knew of the Turing machine that that Turing built during World War II to do the Enigma machine, and I knew of the Turing test around in AI, artificial intelligence. Didn't know anything else about that. Didn't know anything else about that. No one falls for the Tinder bots, though, do they, Nathan Alphaman? So if no one thinks they're real, then they don't pass the Turing test. Zapri, you are completely wrong, sir. So you've said the John Wick films don't have a whole lot of substance and depth, but they're really good fun to watch. Those films have some of the best world building you have ever seen in a movie. Like, I'm not even kidding. The John Wick movie, right, I'm going to stop soldering for a minute because I need to educate Zappa on this. The John Wick movie does so many things on such a huge number of levels without you even realising it, that the movie has got more depth than anything you could possibly imagine. So, right in the beginning of the movie, you see him get robbed of his car, all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. Fine, and then it's realised that he's kind of part of some secret organisation. You just take one aspect of that. Let's say those gold coins, right? Okay, so he has those gold coins. He pays multiple different things with those gold coins. He pays 12 of them to someone to clean up 12 bodies from his apartment as part of a cleaning crew. Okay, a cop comes to his house, knows who he is, and instantly doesn't do anything about the noise because of the way the way everything's going down. Spoilers if you haven't seen the film. I'm sorry, guys, but these are spoilers. So turn off your ears for a minute. And it kind of starts to build up this kind of representation of what it is and what the underculture and the subculture of the whole community does. And then he uses a coin to pay for 2 nights at a room. He uses the same coin for entry into a club. So that kind of starts to tell you that these coins have significant value, but are used also for commodity items as well, which means that there is a lot more to those coins than just paying for something. The coin itself is actually backed by the weight of the person who's giving it to you. Their reputation is part of that coin and is part of its value and its worth. 1 gold coin is worth a lot more if it's John Wick giving it to you than if it's just, say, some random person in the film giving it to you. There is so much more going on in that film. You need to rewatch it, Zappi, and really pay attention because it is absolutely incredible depth. The world building is second to none. The world building in those films is absolutely amazing. It's better than even Lord of the Rings in some aspects. So, guys, just bear it in mind. Just bear it in mind. And that's just the coins. I could talk for ages. Hold on. Huey says we can change it to full caps lock. Okay, I won't solve the caps lock. I will change that before we go on. In before everyone tells me I'm wrong about the John Wick films and the depth. I mean, the whole world building of these assassins that follow certain rules and hotel chains where the rules are kind of upheld and people do things in different ways in different locations and everyone knows how to respect them, and man, there's so much world building going on. There's more substance and depth to those films than most action films. It's crazy. It's crazy. Right, okay. So Zapri, sorry, I just wanted to tell you that you were wrong on that one, and there we go. We've passed the Turing Test. We talked about that. Some haven't seen any of the John Wick films at this point. I feel I'm just letting them stack up. Just watch them. Just do it and just watch them. Wiki's really good. Last one I saw had some amazing Spider-Man one that was just so bad. Jay has a low standard for world building. It seems like everyone uses these coins as an open secret. In John Wick 4, he's going to buy a Big Mac with it. It's not about that though, James. Like, there's more to it. There's so much world building in that. Like, you see so many films and there's very little world building in them, and it kind of like the whole experience of them is kind of I don't know. Like, a lot of the Marvel films are just formulaic now. All of the stories are basically the same story, just repeated and rehashed with a different hero and different powers. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy them, they're good films, but they're losing a lot of the depth that they had in the early films. Like, the early Iron Man, there's none of that kind of depth anymore in them. They're kind of just... They're designed to get bums on seats now, and that's what they do, and they do it well. And I watch them, I'm not going to lie, I do. But... There is films out there that have way better world building, and I'm not saying that John Wick is the epitome of it. I'm just saying that Zappa is completely wrong when he says it has no world building at all. Like, it has a ton of stuff in there. Like, it has a ton of stuff in there. Like, and it's not a good example of world building. I'll be honest, it's not. But it does have a lot of world building in it, and it's incredible for what it does in a short pace of time. Like, if I was going to talk about real kind of in-depth kind of stuff that's just phenomenal, there's films that people probably haven't ever heard of, so we'll come back to it. James, I think we need an offline conversation about movies one day. Instead of just talking keyboards, we should talk movies. Okay. Yeah, you need to rewatch it, Zappa. You do. 1 coin is almost enough to buy an aftermarket keep. Indeed. It doesn't need to make sense, Blind Panda. It doesn't need to make sense. It's not about a monetary value. It's about what you're exchanging it for. It's a you know, quid pro quo kind of transaction. It's not just about the coin. The coin is just the medium. I should watch films in order. Does it matter? You should watch them in order. Yeah, it makes sense. I do like the John Wick films over there. Yeah, okay. Seems more like a convenient way of keeping the story moving forward without any need for explanation. No, I think it's more than that. It's definitely more than that. Talk about movies started great with 12 Angry Men. Since then, we went downhill fast. Yeah, 12 Angry Men is a great film. That's a really good example of world building because you get a whole kind of flavour. We're going to skip Caps Lock because we're going to change that to stepped. He has changed his mind. You get a whole kind of flavour of 13 different people's lives in there, and just how they make decisions and rationale and thought processes and psychological makeup and different kinds of personalities all at once. It's really impressive stuff. It's 12 Angry Men. If you guys haven't seen it, you should go definitely watch it. But watch the original, don't watch the remake. Make yourself sit through the black and white version if you don't like black and white films. Just pretend it's colour because it is well worth it. Turn your phone off. Have just an hour, well, 2 hours, and just watch that through. Prestige is also a great film. I agree. Marvel films are good to watch. They're great to watch, but they're not. There's no substance there really. Not now. Like, the early ones were quite good, but the new ones are not as much. Thoughts on Jigsaw? Swishy. Jigsaw as in the tool, as in the puzzles, or the movies? I'm not sure what you mean there. Clarify, please. Clarifications. If you could only eat one type of burrito for the rest of your life, what would it be? The spiciest one I can get my hands on. I like a spicy burrito. If I'm eating a burrito, I want it to be spicy. We don't have many good burrito places here in the UK. There's one called Bar Burrito, and it's kind of okay, but it's not great. And there's nowhere near me where I can get a decent burrito. So, yeah, I wish there were more burrito options, to be honest. Okay, you guys are running dry on the questions now, it seems. So get your questions in, guys. I'm free to talk about anything, and I'm about halfway through this board, so I've done nothing but talk at you for 10 minutes. Glacier says, in that case, thoughts on JTK John Wick? I quite like the Dual Legends. So the last time I looked at that, it was just a little bit like Nines, but more of a sandy coloured alpha colour. It was okay, mediocre at best. I think they'd struggle to get any novelties in place. Hold on, I've got a switch that's not fully in place here. I'm just going to heat this one up and try and get it a little bit deeper in to the board. There we go. We're looking good now. We're looking good. Yep. Just making sure they were flush against the plate. And the PCB as well. Okay. So we are good to carry on now. I'm definitely going to have to use one of these alcohol pads on the back. This new roll of solder I've been moving out to is spitting a flux everywhere. Well, the roasting core anyway. Okay, let me just do this switch and then we'll move on to the next question. I'll see what you guys are talking about next. Okay. I like how Kakan was the first person to ask kind of like a non-media related question. Thoughts on The Matrix and Blade Runner? So The Matrix is a great film. It was one of the movies that got me into movies back in 1999. I kind of really wasn't a big movie nerd. I was in year 10 of high school and I kind of really wasn't a huge movie fan. And I kind of knew what movies were, but The Matrix was the movie that woke me up to films and what film could be in general. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. I used to have it on VHS and I think about it on every medium since. The sequels not so much, but the original one, again, that was a very rich, detailed world that was kind of squandered a lot in terms of its opportunity by the sequels. It could have been so much more. But the vision was there. The vision was definitely there. I've heard that the UK is the place to go for tikka masala. Is it true? So tikka masala is a British invention. It's not a true Indian dish. It's a British invention and British bastardization of what an Indian dish is. So there we go. Zapri, I think it's Birmingham where it came from, but it might be Glasgow. But a tikka masala isn't a traditional Indian curry, but you can get some really good Indian food in the UK. So I live in Bradford, which has quite a large Indian culture and influence around this area. Well, I live near Bradford, not in Bradford, but near Bradford. And the food around here is just amazing. Like, there is so many good food places. Indian cuisine is by far my favourite, and like around here we are spoiled for choice for good Indian places to go. There is so many good ones. But I'm pretty sure that tikka masala came from Birmingham, not Glasgow. But someone correct me if I'm wrong. But it's definitely a British dish, the tikka masala. It's not a traditional Indian curry. Same as the vindaloo. That's not an Indian curry. It's a British take on the original. If you really want to go traditional curry, then try a pathia or something like that, and really get into it, or a karai or something like that. Hyderabadi balti, something like that. Probably butchering these names, but yeah, all of that kind of stuff. Go to an Indian and ask for something authentic. You can't go wrong. And it doesn't have to be spicy either, guys, if you're not good with spice. It was Glasgow. Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought it was Birmingham, but cool. I'm fine. Favourite country, city you visited in the world? Budapest in Hungary. Budapest, without a shadow of a doubt. I enjoyed my time there so much. I would love to go back. It's over a year since I went now. But I genuinely really enjoyed that trip. We were there for just over a week and I loved every minute of it. Great city, great culture, great people, great food. I'd go back to Hungary in a heartbeat. Okay, almost there now on this bit. We've just got the bottom row to do, and then we're going to come back and fix the stepped caps lock. Hugh has changed his mind at last minute from the KLE he sent me. What's your hangover? I wish you had better Indian in the US, Mr. Petrov, actually. I just saw that question. I wish you had better Indian in the US, because you guys just don't have any real Indian options. Like, Indian food out there seems to be so non-existent, it's not even funny. It's like the biggest gap you guys have got in your cuisine. I mean, you have some great stuff out there, like some genuinely great stuff, but you have no good Indian as far as I can see. Certainly as a tourist in the country, it's not easily available. I'm sure you have got good spots, but okay. I think there was a question there as well. We'll answer that just now. See what the question was. What was your favourite hangover cure? A bottle of Iron Brew, which is kind of like an orange fizzy substance. It doesn't taste like oranges, but it's orange in colour. That and something greasy to eat. Isn't UK national food kebab? Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. The UK inebriated population's national food is a kebab, sober, not so much. Yeah, I don't really like a kebab. It's not my kind of thing. Like I like a takeaway kebab. Like I like a proper kebab, but not like a takeaway one. Buda and Pest are two cities. Yes, they are. They're separated by the river. So you've got Buda on one side and Pest on the other side. But yeah, everyone knows it as Budapest. But yes, the river down the centre, and then on the river you've got the Houses of Parliament and everything else. We saw the change of the guard. It's kind of like a museum there. You can go around. It's great. On the other side of the river, you've kind of got like a cable car that goes up a hill and all that kind of stuff. It was great, fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Yes, but you're right. It is two cities, but you know, they're, for all intents and purposes, they're one. They're just separated by a river. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. I would go back in a heartbeat, like genuinely. Just one of the nicest trips away I've had in a long time. Have you ever been to Agra in Leeds? Yes, it's mediocre at best. It's alright. There's much better Indian places than that. I miss London Indian. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yul Keat says, would you say most people mix up Pakistani food and Indian food just to lump them together? Even restaurants like Pakistani might call themselves Indian food for marketing purposes. Probably. That probably does happen. And do you know what? I'm probably guilty of making that same kind of mistake as well. There is a lot of really good Pakistani food out there. In fact, there is actually a Pakistani restaurant not far from me that does some amazing food, and we do eat there quite often. But they do sell Indian dishes as well, and they kind of mix themselves up a little bit too. It's probably just because it's easier to market it that way, and you know, whether they should or shouldn't, it is a different question, but I think that's probably what happens. So I'm just going to change this to stepped caps lock, and we'll solder that switch in, and then we'll test the PCB, and then we'll see where we're up to. So change this over to stepped caps. Okay, that's there. Time to test the PCB. Make sure everything's working. Did J-01 prototype already happen? No, not yet. We haven't shown the J-01 yet. We have shown the Lodestone, and we're going to re-show the Lodestone right at the very end. But we haven't shown the J-01 redesign as yet. We are going to do that shortly. So I'm just going to get a switch hitter, and then you guys will be able to see it. I've just desoldered my... just unplugged it. Let's hope this works. And let's hope that I can get a switch hitter with this. Well, that works, and there we go. So I know S&W already back. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, if I do that, you should be able to see switch hitter in the top of your screens. Let's see what works and what doesn't. Okay, so we're not expecting split backspace to work. This key doesn't work, but we know that that's because it's split backspace. We know that's why. Okay, got a key not working just here. That's not working. Did we solder it? It is soldered. We'll check that in a second. It could be the key map. It might not be. Caps lock's working. If that's the only key that doesn't work, I'm going to suspect that it's just the... Yeah, okay, okay. So it looks like we're all working there. I think that that is just the key map that's not working rather than anything else. Okay, all good there. Spacebar. I think that must be FN, so it should give us F keys. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I think that that not working is purely because of the key map, but let's just resolder it. Let's just test this and resolder it just to make sure, because it might be the solder. It could be a cold joint in there. Let's see if that's fixed it. It might have done actually, because the solder flowed kind of weirdly at first, so that might have been the issue. Okay. Yes, so it was. So there we go. All 100% working and all good to go. Ugh. There we go. Okay, great. So the keyboard does work. We know that there is one issue with this key here, and that's because split backspace just needs a jumper wire, and Huey's going to sort that out himself. There we go. All working nice and neatly. So cuisine like Thai, Chinese, Malay, Vietnamese, etc. better in Australia or IMO? I couldn't say what you guys have in Australia, but I don't know what that's like in the US either. I know we have access to quite good options in those cuisines, so I think we're quite lucky here in the UK. J-01 comes with 3 leaks. I'll send you a leak if you buy a J-01, yeah, like an actual physical leak. Not everyone, but like I'll send you the vegetable if you buy one. Just you, Cryptoid. Okay, time to put the case together, and I think we've got some gaskets in here that we need to apply. See how these go together. Okay, so as far as I understand it, and I haven't looked, but there is pads on here and on here. So Huey, correct me if I'm wrong, but we put small gaskets in here, and we put small gaskets on that nub in there, and then we put long gaskets in there, and we put long gaskets in there. If that's wrong, tell me now. I'm going to start with the large gaskets just because I'm a little bit more comfortable with those, and then you tell me if I'm wrong. Thoughts on Italian food? Italian food's always good. That particularly wasn't. Yeah, Italian food's always good. Italian food's like comfort food to me. I find it comfort food. I think you're right, count the gaskets. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm just going to go with the flow and we'll see where we get to. One, two, three, four, five, six. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. Okay, so I'm just going to put 4 of these in because it doesn't look to be enough to do it all. So let's just put 4 of these in for now. How far are you from London? What town again? So I live in a little village called Shelf, which is near Bradford, and I'm about 3 hours on the train away from London. About a 5-hour drive. Not that we're talking about today, but I just want to say we're very excited for JK Alchemy. Nice. So am I. James AKB, he's one of the designers of the set. He's in chat right now. I'm just literally going to be the vendor for it. So yeah, I too am very excited for it as well. I actually have on the Zephyr behind me the original DSA Alchemy. Cool. Okay, so that's 4 of those put in there. Let's put the corresponding ones for 4 in here. I think I know what we're going to have to do. I just don't think there's enough of these to put all 6 in. Which is kind of surprising. But there we go. These things happen. Okay, so that's those put in, and then we should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 16 of these small ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then we've got 4 left over. So I'm going to put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then the same on there, which is the 4 leftover ones that we have. Just to make sure that we've got the right number of gaskets in the right places. I wouldn't want to have a whole gasket kind of section not filled, so let's go with this. And Huey, if I'm wrong, I'm really sorry. There we go. Where do I see myself retiring at? Somewhere in the UK? Yeah, I don't see me moving outside of the UK. The wife wants to move outside the UK at some point. I remain to be convinced. I like where I'm from, and I don't have any family anymore apart from my brother. And he's able to travel anyway, so it wouldn't be a problem moving anywhere else. But I don't know. I just kind of like the UK, and that being said, things are all, happening all over the world right now, and I think there's some massive changes afoot in how we live our lives already taking place, and more of those kind of changes are going to happen. So that might affect all of our decisions going forwards. Who knows? Okay. Just making sure all of these gaskets are sitting nice and flush with where they're supposed to be. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, so we've used those, and then now the next job is to, on the tops of these ones, these little bumps here, this is where the plate's going to sit. Focus on the tops of these ones. We're going to put some more gaskets, and then we're going to put them on the inside of the top case as well, which is there. Unless these aren't supposed to have gaskets on. Let's just check this. Let's just make sure that this fits together like this. I would hate to put this together and then realise it doesn't have enough room. Okay. It's quite a bit of depth there. I think it does. I'm not moving to Portland, Oregon, Mr. Petrov. Maybe one day I will visit, but I don't think I will ever move there. But never say never. I just don't think that's where I'll end up. 2030 moving to Mars? No, I don't think that. I think we'll get people on Mars in our lifetimes. Like someone here will definitely see people land on Mars. I'm not sure that we will get people living on Mars in our lifetime. Although I would very much like to be corrected on that. I think there's two kind of things that could happen with the space race right now. Either it could go all guns blazing and we could absolutely get there. There's certainly proponents pushing for that. Or it could kind of filter out, lose its steam and kind of die out for a little bit. I think that's equally as likely right now. Which would be a shame, because I kind of like to see us back on the moon and, you know, doing other things in space, mining asteroids, all that kind of thing. It seems like that's the kind of like next big thing for humanity as a whole. So I'd like to see us get back out there. There's no races there. There kind of is. It's more of a private commercialized space race now between companies like Boeing and SpaceX and all those kinds of things to try and get commercial rights and to deliver passengers and cargo to the International Space Station and stuff like that. Have I miscalculated again? I think that's right. I don't think they go on top as well. I think they just go underneath. Let's test this out. Let's see how this fits together now. I'm pretty sure that's going to compress those gaskets. So it doesn't. Interesting. More like a Vickery auction, to be honest. Maybe. Okay, so it does need the gaskets in the top as well. Now this is where I have run out. I've used too many, thinking I didn't need to use them. Let's just try putting them in the top corners and see how this feels. Maybe it is a little bit more like a Vickery auction, but you know, there's some really cool technology out there at the minute. And watching the space launch the other day, the SpaceX launch, it's just huge. It's just amazing how far we've come. I should have looked up how these gaskets all went together. I really should have checked. Sorry, Huey, but I think this is probably going to be the better way to do it. I feel like it was missing 4 of these long ones. That's what I needed. 4 of those long ones. But they just weren't there. I suppose we could make some out of the rest of that. There was plenty of material left on it. We could have made some more, I suspect. We'll see how we get on. Should be on both sides of the plate. Yeah, so there's these here, where there's 6 slots for these long ones on the base, and there's 6 slots for those long ones on the inside of the middle. Now, I haven't put those in there. Now, there's not enough if we do that, and I've used 4 of these here to kind of prop up the middle, but maybe that was the wrong move. So on both sides of the plate is absolutely what we're doing, but there's 4 missing, basically. So we could get 4 because we can certainly get 2. Like, what we can do is we can actually move this to the center and take this one off. Hopefully. If these need re-gluing, I'll re-glue them. Yeah, okay. I just feel like there wasn't enough of the long, thin ones, Huey. That was the issue. I don't want to take that one off. Okay. I think what I might have to do is jury rig some extra ones just for here and here. But we can do that. We have flush goes. Definitely wasn't enough gaskets though. I mean, the board has a ton of gaskets, so I don't mean it from that sense. I just mean in terms of the amount provided, there wasn't quite enough. But we can rectify it. We can add more gasket material because there's plenty left over on these sheets. Hi, Kind of Keyboards. Good to see you, dude. Good. I think it's Milo, I think, if I remember rightly. Welcome, man. We're just finishing building the Key65. Then we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at the J-01 redesign. There's the original build here, which ran nearly 2 years ago now. It was a small limited run of 15 boards. And then we've already shown off the Lodestone, which is the magnetic levitation one, but we will show it off again just towards the end of the stream. And I'm just jury rigging some gaskets here because the designer of the board didn't include enough, so we're just making sure that we've got enough gasket material in place to hold everything together. There we go. Okay, we can now put them to one side. So here, I appreciate this is jury rigged, but there was not enough of the long thin ones. If I was you, I will send this back to you. I would cut 2 of these longer strips and replace them on there, and then on the bottom of the mid piece as well. That would be my advice. But that aside, that all fits together nice and neatly now. That's all looking really rather good, actually. That does look really good. And then that should sit just on here. And then we should be able to just clip that all together. Yeah, okay. Now the good thing is this does have threaded inserts in the polycarbonate, so it is going to hold it together nice and tightly. It's now time to screw this back together, and then we can put some keycaps on the board. So Zapri, I think it was, if you are ready to get your straw poll posted, good sir, then you might want to do. Are you optimistic about the future of the species of the human race as a whole? I think I am. I think broadly I am. I don't think we're gonna. I think one of the big things that worries me on that perspective, and I say worries, like one of the things is we don't know where we are in relation to the Great Filter, right? That's one of the things we don't know, and we kind of not going to know how that's going to pan out for a while yet, whether we're past the Great Filter or whether there is no Great Filter or whether there is a Great Filter coming in our future. That's the thing, we don't know, because there's no other galactical civilizations out there, and you'd kind of expect it to be given the age of the universe and how old a lot of the other planets are, and there just isn't. So either life isn't very common, or there is something that stops life when it gets to a certain level. Now it could be that that Great Filter was actually way back in the past, and it's where life becomes multicellular. That is absolutely plausible as one of the options for being a Great Filter. It could be very difficult for life to jump beyond a single cell organism into a multi-celled one. There's a lot of scientists who believe that, but truthfully we just don't know. I didn't desolder the reset button. No, the owner of the board has confirmed that they will do the desoldering of the reset button when they get around to it. So when they get the board back, they will do the desoldering of the reset button. Okay. This is a democracy manifest. You're voting for retro for your own board. Don't worry, Huey. I was going to be voting for retro as well. Okay, interesting. So one of the really interesting things is the gaskets actually make the PC on this board bulge. I don't want to over tighten, but let's see if we can just get this to fit a little bit more snug. Man, that's kind of worrying. So I think I'm going to release some of the tension on the board. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's like the board is bowing here, so it's screwing in nicely here, it's screwing in nicely there, but the gaskets are bowing it out slightly here. I'm going to reduce the tension on the board. I'm not sure I feel comfortable the polycarbonate being that kind of. I'm just going to reduce the tension so it's kind of level, and hopefully the board will be together enough for that to be okay. And then we'll just check the rear as well. Okay, so probably just needs to undo a little bit more here. And here, I will let you make the decision going forward how you want to screw that together. Okay, so now it's nice and flush on that front edge. You can see that there. Let's just take a look at the rear. See, interestingly, it is the same at the rear. Okay. I wonder if it only needs the gaskets on one side here. I think that maybe it only needs those long gaskets on one side. Okay, so I've just taken the pressure off the gaskets a little bit. The typing still looks okay. The board doesn't look to be warped or shaped or misshapen or anything like that, so I think we're okay there. Let's put the bump-ons on. It all feels solid. It all feels put together. Okay, how's that straw poll going, guys? Okay, yeah, I thought it might be the too many pads, but it did have grooves for both. Let's go back and fix the pads then. Let's go back and fix the pads because we can do that. And we have Doggo on stream as well, guys. We have Doggo on stream. Do you want to come and say hello, Jeej? Come here, Jeej. Come on, Jeej. Hey, come here. Good girl. You gonna say hey to Doggo, guys? Hello. Jeej, what's up this? What's that? There you go. Doggo on stream.
Jeej, come in.
Go on then. There you go. Come on.
Jeej, come on, treats. Come on.
Go on. Out.
Jeej, a treaty.
My wife's having to call the dog out. Bless her. Bless the key with the dog out poem. Yeah, okay. Let's go back and fix these gaskets. Because I do want the case to be together properly. I did feel weird that they'd only given the wrong number. But hey, it's fine. We can fix this. Okay. Doggo's better than all. I vote GMK Doggo. Okay. How's the straw poll going, guys? Is it getting some results? Are we voting? I think I'm in Huey's camp. I want to see retro on this board, not nines. Okay. There we go. Let's take this out. Oh, we've still got a screw in, that's why. I just wanted to undone that. There we go. There we go. Okay, great. Okay, so let's take them off of the inside piece here. I've got some goo gone here. I will retrospectively fix any of these that leave a stain on the PC behind. Man, I've spent 2 days faffing around with gaskets, both on the Lodestone and the J-01 prototype, and now on this. Hey, we live and learn. We live and learn. I'm just going to put a couple of these in here, just to fill up the gap. Avoid the USB, and I know they're not the long ones, but Huey, I will send all of the different parts to you, and you can retrospectively fix these as you need to. 81% to retro, nice. That will probably make Huey happy. A happy chappy. Okay, that does feel like it's going together a little bit nicer. Cool. There we go. Retro's killing it in the poll. It is a good key set, is retro. It is a good key set. Okay, almost there now, guys. Once this is put together, we'll put some keycaps on it. We'll do a little bit of a typing test, see what you guys think. And then once that's done, we'll take a look at the J-01, the new revision 1 of the J-01, which is going to be going to group buy sometime soon. And then once we've done that, we'll take a look at the Lodestone again, just show that off again for guys who didn't see it before. And then we'll close down the stream. So, got a fair bit still to come, guys. I feel almost like I need another beer as well. So do I need to even check the straw poll, Zapri? Is it definitely going to be? That looks much better, much neater, much tidier. You guys can see there. Look, it looks pretty tidy actually. There you go. Is do we just go with retro because that's what's won, or do I need to check? I think we're just going to go with retro, right? I don't think like even checking is worthwhile. Retro's won yet. There you go, Huey. You got what you wanted. So this is GMK Retro. The only other thing that we need to decide, guys, is do we use the red escape or do we not? That's the thing to decide now. So, red escape, yes or no, guys? Let me know in chat. Y or N, yay or nay. I'll start to put these keycaps on here. We're going ANSI, so I'm going to use the ANSI keys. Sorry, Huey. Yes, red escape. No, red. Yes, red. Yes, red. Yes. Absolutely no accent. Sorry, Huey. It goes with chat. Nay. Yes. This is not a democracy manifest. It is a democracy. We go with what Twitch chat says. It needs that oomph. Yay. More votes for yes. So the red it is. Tell me why red is the wrong answer, guys. If you don't like the red on there, tell me why it's the wrong answer. Just gonna go with those for now. I'm sure that's probably the wrong split backspace legends, but hey, it'll do. I don't think there is a 1U delete row 1 in this cap set. Pretty sure there isn't. No, there's not. Not enter though. Okay, we won't use the red enter. I was going to ask you guys if we should when we get to the enter, but maybe we don't use the red enter. My disappointment is measurable and my day is ruined. Okay, well I just won't send the board back to you then. You don't ever have to worry about it, dude. How about that? How about that, Huey? I'll just keep the board and we'll just call it quits, right? Okay, now I don't know if there is. Oh, there is. Which one, guys? Which one? Mod or alpha colored? Mod or alpha? Come on, let me know, guys. Mod or alpha colored? Mod, alpha. Yeah, it was kind of to give it to me, right? That's nice of him. Don't be gross, mod. Come on, Noah, you can tell me what you want to see. That should be a backspace you tit. I don't have. There's no 1U backspace key. And sorry, no 1.5U backspace key. There isn't one in the set. So, oh, there is. Oh, there is one. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he's right. There is one. I couldn't see it for looking. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. So you can't pick between mod and alpha because it's irrelevant. It's a backspace key. Yeah, okay, he's right. We can't argue with the technical correctness of Huey in that one. Problem solved. Yeah, right. It's it's one less thing for you guys to worry about now. I mean, it just, yeah, we've got to overcome these things, and Hugh was right. It was right there, and I just didn't see it for looking. That felt nice. This is the first time this keycap set's ever been on a keyboard as well. I've had this since it came out in 2017, I think, and this is the first time it's ever been on a keyboard. Huey said Huey didn't want any of the red legend keycaps, so we just put the red on the escape, and we'll leave it at that. But he didn't want any of the red modifiers at all. Shift key. And then we're going to do the bottom row. This looks like... Wait. No, sorry. It's 1.5, not 1.25. 1.25, 1. Sorry, 1.5, 1. 1.5. 7. There we go. 1.5. Get some arrow keys in here. Oh wait, there might be the delete key. There is a delete key. It's there. Look, I didn't realise that this set had another tray with it. So there we go. We can fix the. We can fix this. The dog doesn't want to leave the room. She's under my feet, guys. She's under my feet. There we go. I think the dog's staying in here now, guys. Okay, let's go with page up, page down, FN for on these keys here. Is that the right profile? No. That's the right profile for there. Yeah. Is that the right profile? Yes. That just looks wrong. Nope, it's right. There we go. That's correct. There we go. All nicely done, guys. So, there you go, guys. This is the Foxlab Key65 with Durock stabilizers, Durock switches, and GMK retro. How nice does that look? The Windows key looks great, right? It's one of the nicest things on this set. I kind of like the red escape key. I think it looks alright there. Bets on it sounding poppy as hell. Well, let's see, shall we? Let's pause the music for a minute. Let me take off my headphones. There we go. Let's take a drink and then we'll see what it sounds like. This is GMK Retro. Okay, this is GMK Retro. The red escape key is the thing that makes it work. I think it would look a bit weird if it didn't have the red escape key. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I think it looks good. That looks pretty nice. Okay, let's see what it sounds like. Spacebar sounds nice. That sounds really good. Yeah, I don't have proper typing technique, guys. I know. But yeah, I did type Poppy. Yeah, I did type Poppy in there. I'm glad you just saw that. That sounds pretty good. I'm broadly impressed with that, guys. I think it sounds good. So I didn't lube these switches either. Huey's just mentioned it. Yeah, for the price, it's a really solid board. I don't know how much this was in group buy, but I'm pretty impressed with it. Like the machining on the F logos, the key logos, the machining on the polycarbonate is pretty good all round. Yeah, it works really well. It sounds okay. It sounds great, actually. It sounds way better than I was expecting it to. So I'm pretty happy with this, and I think and hope that Huey will be as well. So there we go. I just want to talk about the switches just 1 second, because Huey did say lube job rate. So like I like to lube my own switches, and I do lube them for customers on the odd occasion I do a customer build, but I didn't lube these ones. Huey actually sent them through already lubed. Now I didn't try them before the stream, I didn't do anything with them before the stream, I hadn't even taken them out of the bag before the stream. Literally the only thing I'd done was taking the sticker off that was holding the bag together, and that was it. So Huey's asking me to rate his lube job, and the switches feel smooth, but then they're Durex switches, they're gonna feel smooth. They feel really smooth. I think he's lubed the housing. I think he's lubed the top housing, which is why you get that sound on the return. You can hear the dog walking on the carpet now, on the hard floors now. $2.95. Gosh, that's a cheap price for it. I'm going to give your lube job a rating of 7.5 out of 10. It's slightly better than Mr. Petrov's lube job. And it's wonderfully smooth. It's probably a tiny bit heavier than what I would like. It feels like you've lubed the top of the housings. Definitely the rails on the stem, I can feel that. I'm going to guess that you've put an oil on the springs. Mr. Petrov got a 7 out of 10. Hugh's getting a 7.5 out of 10. These are more my style of lubed switches. He's quiet in chat for so long, and then he comes back just to say that. Nice. Mr. Petrov was a little bit heavier on the switches. I haven't actually used his board on stream, but I will. I'll bring it home and I'll use it on stream next week. Yeah, that's the Allison. But yeah. Okay, these are good switches. These aren't bad. These are not bad. Probably a tiny bit heavier than I would like on the lube, but other than that, good. Okay, let's get the music back on now. When it decides it's going to play. Oh, it's changing the songs, that's why. It'll be alright, it'll play in a second. Top housing stem, floor of the bottom, and nothing on the springs. Nothing on the springs. I'm surprised at that. The springs do feel like they've been lubed. What springs are these then? Have you changed these springs? These split springs? Let's have a look at a switch. Let me have a look at this. Has he changed these springs? So it's a gold spring in there, guys. It's a golden spring in there. I think he's changed the spring. I think he's changed that spring. Stock springs. Man, these feel good for stock springs. These are really good. These feel better than the H1 springs. That's crazy good. That's crazy good. How's the fit of the USB-C hole housing? It's pretty neat. It's a little bit square. I don't tend to like doing square holes, but it's pretty tidy. It could be worse. So we go. Yeah, I mean, you went a little bit too heavy on the lube for me, Mr. Petrov. Just a little bit too heavy, but there we go. That sounds really good. Really impressed with that. Okay, so that's the Key65. Huey, I will get this into post to you at some point during the week. Really sorry we messed up on the gaskets, but we fixed it now. It does work. It feels really good, actually. The double gasket thing is kind of interesting. But I will get that through to you later on this week. I will try and get it in the DHL post tomorrow back to you. I can't guarantee that. DM me your address, make sure I've got it. But I will try and get you in the DHL pickup tomorrow. If not, it will be picked up at some point during the week, and I'll get it back to you this week. And I will make sure I include the rest of the gasket material, so you can make some other long gaskets where we did that. And I'll try and include a little canister of goo gone for you as well if I've got more than one. And then we'll be able to get rid of the old gaskets. But yeah, I'm really impressed with that. For the price, that's a great board. great board. Fantastic starter board. If you're starting out in the hobby, that's a great starter board. Okay, so now we've done the Key65. We did visit the Lodestone earlier on, and I showed you guys the Lodestone prototype. I showed you that quite a lot, and I was pretty happy with what I showed you there. I thought it was good. I think you guys thought it was good as well. Literally the worst stream ever. Mr. Petrov, I'm sorry, dude, but I've got to be honest when it comes to these things. So I guess now it's time to show you the second prototype of the three we've got on stream, of the two we've got on stream today. Anybody know which soldering iron Jay uses? It is a TS100. It even says so just there, TS100. There you go. I don't know why I picked up the insulated foam. I didn't mean to do that. Gosh, that's heavy. So, this is the new version of that, and I'm quite excited to show you this. So, for those that you don't know, the J-01 was the first board that I kind of designed, and I worked with another designer, and we kind of did that board, and we did 15 of them, and in the couple of prototypes, so there's like 17 boards in total, and I've got 2 of those boards, and I like pen rail, and this is magnetically mounted pen rail on the old one, and the old one also has like a brass mid piece that you can probably just see peeking out here. We've changed some things up, so I no longer work with that designer, that CAD person. I'm learning CAD myself, doing some other bits and pieces as well. Times have changed, views and opinions have changed, my views and opinions have changed, and we made some design decisions on the original J-01 to not put any brass in the base of the case. The brass runs around the middle and underneath the forehead, so there's a big thick bit of brass that's underneath there. That's the same piece of brass that runs through the middle. It runs all the way across that forehead there, that strip there. That's what adds the weight to the board. And the reason why I didn't want to put any brass underneath is because I think it changes the sound signature too much. So you'll see for the J-02 as well, that went in group by February, I think it was. The brass was around the centre, or the copper on the limited edition. So, we've changed that board. Now from the top down, you're not going to see many differences. You're going to see some differences, but not many. There's another couple of things we've tweaked. The depth of the J-01 logo, which is just here, we've changed that because it was too deep on the original. It was just too deep. So that has been changed. So you will see that as well, but it will look the same. Other than that, from the top down, it kind of looks the same. So bear that in mind. There is some other changes though to the board. There's some things that have been kept and some things that have been removed. So let's show you the board and then let's see what you guys think. And I hope that you guys like this as much as I do, because I was really excited when I opened this up. Right, we're getting tired of not just paper now. Okay. Which way is the paper going? Hold on. I'm getting paper tied up in paper here. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so guys, I want to formally introduce you the J-01 Worst Stream Counter Wrap, the J-01 R1, which stands for Revision Wrap. This is the new and improved J-01. First thing I want to tell you about is that this build doesn't work yet. It's not put together. As you might have noticed, there is some differences. From the top down, it looks broadly the same. This logo is still embossed, but it doesn't have to be. This is much shallower and be much nicer for infill if you want to keep it. There is an option to have this board with that logo gone and with 2 extra keys there. You can absolutely do that on this board now. So when it goes to group buy, you will be able to have an extra 2 macro keys here if you want that. If you want to keep the logo and infill, that you will be able to do. If you don't, you'll be able to choose a top option that does have those not there. And you will see that when we take the board apart and look at the PCB and the plate and how everything else goes together. Some of the dimensions have changed slightly. These are slightly thicker blockers now, just to make sure that even. There was some design considerations. They now actually match the outside blockers as well. On the original, they weren't quite the same, and that did change it. The PCBs will be blue again, but will be built by, and they were designed by Flex, other than the original PCB. So this is a brand new PCB. It's not the same PCB, and the new PCB is not compatible with the old case, and the old case PCB is not compatible with the new case, just due to some other design changes. The other thing that we did on the original J-01 is underneath here we had 2 screws that were from the bottom up through to the top to hold it in place here and here and here and here. Those are gone. Those weren't needed. They were overkill. They weren't part of the design really. They weren't needed. They're gone. So when we look at the bottom of the case, that's now gone. In terms of the rest of the board, it looks the same. There has been some other changes as well. The pen rail is no longer magnetic. We learnt from the J-02 that doing magnetic pen rails and shipping boards about is not a good idea. This pen rail now screws in, and whilst this has got it in one way, we've actually changed the design already, and the pen rail works slightly differently, and we'll show you that when we look it up. Now I want to show you kind of, guys, the edge. So the first thing you'll notice is there's no brass middle anymore. And that's because we've gone for a seamless design. So there we go. There's no screws on the rear. It's now a seamless design, and it uses the J-02 grey that we saw on the bottom of the Lodestone as the standard base colour. The reason for this is because this colour is fantastic and it changes so much. It works so well with other things. The reason why we got rid of the brass mid piece is for 2 reasons. One, to keep the costs down. To do the brass mid piece on that board, because it was such a big piece of brass and it required so much milling, because the brass piece held the gaskets in place, it was incredibly expensive to manufacture. I couldn't have kept the buy price under $650 if I'd have kept it. That's just the way it was, and I don't want to rerun the board either. That board is special to the people that bought it. I don't want to change that for them. So we have changed the design. It is now a seamless design. This is better for a number of reasons. One, it will improve the sound signature. The brass is what the weakest point of that board is. The brass changed the sound signature in the mid piece. When I changed it for a piece of aluminium that matched the top and the bottom, it actually sounded better. So that's the other reason why this is gone. This board is going to sound better than the original J-01. The base design from the rest of it actually stays the same. Whilst it's a seamless design, the base design does stay the same. And you still have this rear shelf with the USB-C port directly there, which is a nice tight USB port. It's looking good. And the J logo remains on the base as always. So that's always going to be there as part of it. In terms of the rest of the board, we'll need to take it apart to show you. The plate that's in this and the gaskets that are in this are not the final version. I can't do a build stream unless I get the final versions of the plate and gaskets in. They are on order. James was speaking to the gaskets guys today. I was sorting out plates earlier on. The plate that's in here is very much just a prototype plate just to test everything and things like that. So there we go. That is great. Before I take it apart, the other thing I want to talk about is colours. So the other thing you'll notice is that this is in J-02 grey as well, this pen rail. And it matches the base perfectly. They are exactly the same colour, and as you can see, that's not a scratch, it's just dirt. The angle of this is the direct opposite of that, and the point of where they meet would effectively be the same. Just to keep it nice from an aesthetic perspective, you can see the kind of how the pen rail grows from there. In terms of colours, I want to talk to you about colours. This does mean that we can do a few different things. Because these are now aluminium, we can do coloured versions down the line. The standard base colours will be an E-black with the J-02 grey, the kind of space grey colour. So it's going to be black with grey colour. You could also look at a red top, and when I say red, it's going to be burgundy red. So if you guys remember my ISO marker pad, it's going to be a burgundy red option similar to that. Let me get that and show you. So this is going to be colour option number 2 for the top piece. That's the colour you're going to be able to have with this grey, and as I think you'll agree, it's going to look pretty damn good. Those two colours work really nicely together. The third colour we're going to pick, which is also going to be an option for this top piece, this entire seamless top piece, is going to be a deep navy blue. Mr. Petrov, you've seen this blue. We have a board in Mr. Petrov's possession in this colour blue. You can see it on my Instagram as well. And we're going to have one in blue. So you're going to be able to pick black. Now this is an E-black. This is not anodization. This is E-black. Electrophoresis black. We're going to have a red and we're going to have a blue. So there we go. I don't think I told James the colours actually. I may not have mentioned to James the colours. But there we go. I do want to say big thanks to James. James took a ton of ideas and time, and he went out of his way to fix all of the original J-01 files because they weren't great, and he has made my vision come to life, guys. This is what the J-01 should always have been, and James is the guy that's done that for me. So he is absolutely, you know, design god as far as I'm concerned right now. Like, I cannot tell him how happy I am with this. Like, I am ecstatic about it, like unbelievably happy about it. So we're going to have the red, we're going to have the blue, and we're going to have the black. All of those will come with the J02 grey pen rail and base. There will be an option maybe in the future to do some coloured pen rails, and we'll talk about that after the group buy, and we can do something else. I do want to do one thing though, guys. Guys, in chat, just put hearts now, or love hearts, or something like that for James. Just throw a ton of hearts in chat for James, because I want to see it. I want to see an absolute ton of hearts in chat for James. Any different shape you can make. Hearts, can be text, it can be an image, whatever. Just put hearts in chat for James to say thank you to him. There we go. You guys have got it. Hearts in chat for James. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Because he's done a lot. Beg out. Don't cringe. It's fine. I want to show some love to James, so thank him very much for that. My CAD skills are improving drastically, and I've had to learn a lot of things in CAD. He has shown me more than I could ever care to know, and he's a great guy for it as well. So this is what the J-01 is going to look like. It does look the same from the top down. There is no difference from the top down as far as the board is concerned. It is exactly the same. It will look the same with caps on, apart from the fact that this logo is not embossed as deep, which will make it better for infill. And alternatively, you can have the option to remove this and have 2 extra keys there. So let's take the board apart and take a look at the internals, because I do want to show you guys some of this. I think this is the one I need. Nope. Make sure we get the right size Torx connector. It will come with Torx screws. I don't want to do it with anything other than Torx screws. This is the only screws that I'm going to put into it, Torx. Grey with red pen rail would have been cool too. Yeah, maybe, but I don't want to do too many complex things. I don't want to have 1,001 options in the group buy. I want to keep it simple. There's going to be 3 colour options. There is also going to be a limited edition. Now, the limited edition is going to be slightly different, and we'll talk about that on another day. I'm not gonna share what the limited edition is, but there's only going to be 10 of those limited edition boards. Just 10 worldwide, just 10 limited editions. What was the design inspiration for this board? The design inspiration for this board was the old Commodore boards originally, as well as the old M series boards that had the F keys on the side. So yeah, there isn't a Geekhack link. This is pre-IC. You guys are seeing the prototype before I've even launched the interest check. So the interest check should be going up at some point soon. You should do 18 limited editions? No. No, there's only going to be 10 limited editions of this version of the board. The numbers for the group buy haven't been decided yet. Okay, so that's the screws out. These aren't hex screws. This is what I will be, Torx screws, not hex screws. I will be using Torx screws with them. I don't like hex personally, so it will be Torx through and through. Pusher says, obviously you need to make it a 15 LE for the 15 OG J01 thank you. Maybe. We'll see. Original J01 owners have something extra coming anyway, so don't worry about it. 10,000. It's not going to sell 10,000. Not even custom one-off made screws. No. So with it being a similar design, oh, I missed the screw. There we go. Glad that fell out before I put the board in it. It will be easier to build than the original J01 as well. So we'll talk about the gaskets first. this is going to use the same layered gasket system as the J02. The issue is I just don't have the new gaskets on hand as yet. So these are basically cut up J02 gaskets to make it fit. So you'll see some gaps and things like that. There's no mid layer on here yet. It's just what I've had to do to fudge the board to make sure it works. The actual gaskets are on the way. I have ordered them. Well, James has ordered them for me, so they are coming. And these gaskets basically are a little bit too big because they hold the PCB in as well. So bear with me a second while I take this apart. This is not how the board will be. Gosh, here we go. This is where I can't get it out. So, come on. So the gaskets are just slightly too big for this, and I didn't trim them down before I did the thing. Okay, maybe we can't do it. Anyway, so what's happened here is the gaskets have got in between the plate and the PCB, and that shouldn't happen. The actual gaskets we're going to use when we get them made will just sit between the plate and hold it up. So effectively the plate would drop into the base if this gasket wasn't here. Come on, let me see if I can just, maybe I just rip the plate off and then get the PCB out afterwards. Let's just do that. There we go. Let's just take the plate off because this isn't soldered yet. And then let's see if we can take the PCB out. So you can see here that the PCB is actually trapped underneath the gaskets a little bit. That's not going to happen on the final version. Let's see if I can just prise this out. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, I've just literally cut up some J02 gaskets, retrofitted them into here, but they are not the permanent ones. So there we go. Now, as you'll see in the base, there is a big hole in the base. This is an acoustic chamber, so this is designed to increase the sound, and not in a negative way. It's designed to accentuate the sound of the switches. We had the same thing in the J01, we had the same thing in the J02. We've refined it here for the J02R1, and this still makes a change to how the switches sound. And you'll see that when we do the sound test. Again, as always, we've got a USB-C daughter board which screws in at the back. The cable will sit in this trough and then it will go into the back of the PCB. And you can see that just in the top corner there, just above the microphone. That's where the JST connector is. You can also see here on the PCB that the PCB does support the extra 2 keys as well. So same PCB for both designs, depending on which one you want to pick. The other thing it's worthwhile pointing out as well, these gaskets sit and act as a skirt. So if these gaskets aren't here, you can see that the gaskets actually overlap the edge by quite a distance, nearly 4mm there. It's going to be slightly less on the actual gaskets we're going to use for the production one. And the idea is that without those gaskets there, this plate would sink into the bottom. So there we go. In terms of the rest of the gasketing, there will be the standard mid layer that will go around the edge as well. That will mean that when you put the plate in and drop it in, it's just going to sit in there nicely, and it's just going to position itself perfectly every time. Just as I showed you guys with the J02, the production version of the J02, this is going to do exactly the same. It's going to be so easy to build. Self-adhesive gaskets in the same place, drop the plate in, and it's just going to go in there. Now, the other thing to talk about on this acoustic trough that you will notice is that it sits right where the alphas are. So if I put this over, you can see that right underneath my alphas, that's where this trough is, and that's going to accentuate the sound of the alphas. And it does that because the larger keys that you have on the modifiers tend to sound a bit different anyway. So this should really even out the sound of the board across. The macro columns are going to have a slightly different tone to them, but that's by design so that you know you're using the macro keys and not the main part of the board. So there we go, guys. That's how the J01 system is going to work. Self-adhesive gaskets, you'll put 2 gaskets into the base. You'll then also put a gasket into the top of the inside of the top case. You can see that I've put some gaskets in here just to kind of test it all out, but the gasket will sit inside the top here. And where we don't have a gasket, you can see just in here, if I get the light right, there is a seam. If I get the light just to show you guys, there is a seam just here, and the gasket will sit and come around this seam all the way around. It will be just a one-time adhesive gasket. It will just sit in there nicely, and then once that's done, you can swap in and change the stuff out. The pen rail is kind of going to be different. So you can see here that the pen rail screws with 3 off-axis screws. So instead of the screws being in the center to hold it in place, they're off-axis. There is going to be a change that we've already made to this, where the pen rail is not going to be as thick and come all the way through here. It's actually going to sit on the internal side of this, and it's going to come halfway into the depth of the top case, and then it's going to screw vertically in. That means that we don't have to cut these screw holes out because we've got to have the heads for the screws here. It means we don't have to do that. It saves on machining, makes it a lot easier to do, and it will also make the pen rail fit a little bit more robustly. So there we go, guys. So this is a new J-01 seamless design. It's a chunker. It's really nice. I'm really enjoying it. I just need to wait for the custom gaskets to come. Once the custom gaskets are here and the new plate, because this is kind of like a tester plate, then we'll be able to do a build stream of this as well, and I'll be able to then tell you more details. The group buy is coming soon. I don't have any dates for you just yet, but it's not too far away. Within the next 6 weeks, I'd like to think that the group buy will start. The price hasn't been finally confirmed yet. I need to decide on numbers. I don't know how I'm gonna run in terms of numbers wise. There is going to be 10 limited editions. One of those 10 is going to go to James for his hard work in helping move the boards. He doesn't know that yet. He's just going to find that out right now, but he's going to get one of these for free basically at limited edition. The remaining 9 will be chosen at my discretion through a random form, and some will be to friends and family as well. So there'll be some to friends and family. The remainder will then be chosen at random. People will be able to apply for the limited edition before the actual group buy runs as well, so they'll know if they've got a limited edition or not, if they just want to buy the normal one. So there we go. Is Salvan making this? No, Salvan isn't making this one. Salvan's going to make the Lodestone for me. Salvan's massively busy, and he's definitely going to do the Lodestone group buy. This one is not going to be manufactured with Salvan. So there we go. So the good news is the typing experience isn't going to change. The sound of the board is going to be better than the original J-01. We've now moved to the seamless design, which is probably closer to my original vision than what I thought of. I know you were only kidding, Mr. Petrov. I know we're still friends. I know we are. Though if you're only saying that because you want a limited edition, then there you go. People about to sign up to be Jay's friends. Fair enough. There's going to be a couple of these boards that I do give to the opportunity to some people who are very close friends that will come out of the available limited editions. The remainder will go up and be randomly, raffle drawn, and I'll be completely transparent about how many of those there are at the time when it comes to do that. But yeah, this is the J-01. I'm thoroughly happy with this, guys. It could not have come out any nicer. The tolerances are really tight. Once we get the new gaskets in place, everything's going to just slot together really nicely, really easily. And yeah, I'm totally psyched to be able to build this and show it off on stream. I don't have a number for the normal edition yet. I don't want to confirm prices and then them change after I've had some finalised prices on the gaskets and things like that. That's all coming in the next couple of weeks. I'm tempted to just do 50 units. I think 50 units is probably about the limit of the demand for this board, plus the 10 limited editions. I think that's probably about the demand. I do want to do an IC thread. That's probably going to go up next week. You can do split backspace support. So yeah, let's talk about support. You can do ANSI, you can do ISO, you can do stepped or full caps, you can do split or full left shift, you can do 6.25 or 7U bottom rows, you can do ANSI or ISO, and you can do split or full backspace. So there you go. And you can see, thank you very much to Flex for designing this PCB. There's his logo. He did the PCB design for me for this particular one. There will be no ALP support. No ALP support. 50 will be a piece of cake. You could do 4 times that. I don't know. Let's see how the interest check goes. There might be, if I don't do 50, I'll do 100. That's kind of probably going to be the maximum, 100 for this. No flex cuts, no flex cuts. There is a version of this PCB that exists that does have flex cuts. Maybe I'll have a look and chat with Flet, and we might change flex. We might change that. I don't know. We'll see. I could do 100. 100. It depends on how the interest check goes. For the J-02, which I think is a more accessible design, we sold 200 of those in 2 minutes 37 seconds. So yeah, 100 might be a better number. I don't know. We'll see how the interest check goes. There we go. But it will be 3 colours. Keep it nice and simple. There will be an opportunity to purchase coloured pen rails in the future to match certain key sets that come out that I particularly want to make. So those will be options as we go forward in the future if people want those. All of the bases will be the same colour except for on the limited edition, which we'll talk about later. You'll get the base colour and the pen rail in this J-02 grey silver, kind of a space grey, and then you'll have the tops in either red, black, and the black will be E-black, or you'll have the choice of blue. And it will be a kind of deep burgundy red like this. Not exactly the same as this, but very similar to this kind of red. So there we go. Please add a flex cut poll option to the IC. Maybe. There is a version of this PCB that does exist with flex cuts, so I'm pretty sure we could do that. We'll have a look. When was the J-02 group buy? The J-02 went into group buy on the 8th of February. I know the colours of the limited edition. I'm not ready to share them just yet. Not ready to share them just yet. No wing keyless option. There will be just one layout for this board. Yeah. No, you will have a choice when you buy the board as to whether you want a fixed ISO plate or a fixed ANSI plate, and plate files will be available if you want to choose your own layout from there. So it will support a fixed layout, like this will be the fixed ISO layout. There will be a fixed ANSI layout, and then there will also be the opportunity for you to go and get your own plate files cut if you so wish to do so, to support things like split backspace and anything else. The plate files will be there from day one of the group buy. You'll be able to go and get those plates long before you get the boards. So there we go. Screws, UPAS, all screws, no magnets. We've learned from the J-02, no magnets anymore, so it is all screws. But there you go, seamless design on the J-01 redesign. UPAS is one of the original owners, but yeah, the bar will screw in. It will screw in slightly differently to this. We've already changed how this works, and obviously these gaskets aren't the final ones. I haven't waited for the final versions to come in, but yeah, we've changed how it screws in, but it's going to be a screw-in pen roll. So there we go. So this goes into group buy soon. No dates confirmed as yet. Numbers will be confirmed by the interest check. We'll see how that goes. Interest check's probably going to be live in a few days, guys. So if you are interested in this board, do show your support in the interest check, and we'll go from there. But that's that. Let's jump back to the Lodestone, guys, because I know some of you guys were wanting to talk about the Lodestone. I'm going to try and get the interest check up probably towards the end of this week, I think. And this is the Lodestone prototype. Now, some of this is soldered, some of it isn't. If you guys were here at the beginning of the stream, you will have seen that I have soldered the alpha so it types, but I haven't put any stabilizers in, and I knew I hadn't done this because I didn't have any to hand. So there's like no stabilizers underneath like the 2 U keys, but this is the Lodestone. The height of the J-01 is the same, pusher. It's identical, but it's the same. I do have loads of stabs, that's the thing. I just didn't have any at the workshop. But this is the Lodestone, so there we go. Now you need 2 more, yeah. So just to remind you guys, this is magnetically levitating right now. And as you can see, there is a huge amount of movement that's available in this. I'm really excited showing you guys this. Look at how much that moves. When I say have loads, I don't have that many. I've got like 30 sets or something. It's not a huge amount. But I do build a board every week. I just show you guys the top. So there you go. Typing angle 7 degrees on the J-01. So I don't know of anything that feels the same as this typing. Now, I'm not going to do a typing test for a couple of reasons. 1, there's no stabilizer, so it's going to sound really weird. 2, these switches are not lubed, and they're not the final switches that are going to be in this board. And 3, the gasket that I've put in here is kind of like a cut-up job like that as well. Again, I'm just waiting for the final version of the gaskets. What I will say is that you can see it's not flexibility, it's actual movement in the plate. You can see that there is a ton of movement available there. I mean, look at how much that moves. Look at that. You guys can see how much that moves. It's not like anything else I've typed on. Genuinely, it's something completely different. Like, it is so different to type on, I can't even tell you. Like there's nothing else. Now, before this goes any further in terms of builds or anything like that, there will be a build stream of both of these boards in the coming weeks. The Lodestone, this needs to go to Flex first because he's designed the board with me. It's been very, very much a case of we've done it together. So I want to make sure he's got this. He's got the original. So we did 2 protos in round 1, 2 round 1 protos. We were probably a little bit overconfident, too much hubris. We thought it was going to work. It didn't kind of work how we wanted it to. So we've got one of those each, and we're going to retrofit them to be top mount boards, I think. In fact, mine's actually on the way to Querdenker right now for him to try out. This is the second one, and this fixes a lot of the problems we have. There's a couple of things in materials inside, and we'll talk about those during the build stream, that I haven't made out of the final materials yet. They're kind of made out of different materials, so it's not a true accurate representation of what the board's going to sound like when we type on it yet. So I'm going to save that for the typing test for the actual the true version of the build when we build it on stream. But I'm going to send this to Flex in the next couple of days so he can try it out. He can see what he thinks to it. You can see there how much movement there is. We'll see what that turns out like, and we'll go from there. But yeah, this is something else. It feels so different to type on. I haven't typed on anything that feels like this before. Like that, genuinely, it's that different. It's really exciting. It's like genuinely really exciting. So, yeah, I'm really excited to show it. Colours for this one, we're going to have this colour, we're going to have a green, and then there's going to be an extra special option which you're not going to find out about until it gets delivered to you. I know, Upash, you're doing that with the Clarabelle. I had talked about this on stream months ago, so it's not something I'm copying from there. It's something I'd already had. In fact, Salvan already has that stuff with him, so, and he's had it since, I think, November, so, not November, February. He's had it since February, so it's been something that's been coming for a while. And we'll talk about that maybe during the build stream, but you guys won't see it. But we'll talk about what it is to some extent during the build stream. But it's not a color. It's not a color. Let's say that it's not a color. It's just an option. Well, that's maybe as far as we'll go. So yeah, so really interested to show you guys the Lodestone when we get around to the build stream. I am going to send this particular version to Flex. He's going to get to have a chance to try it out, make sure he's comfortable with it as well, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, this is probably going to be after the J-01. The J-01's probably going to come first. There's a little bit more work to do on this one. So the J-01 will be first, and then the Lodestone will be later on. So there we go, guys. That's pretty much it. So yeah, not stainless steel. Show the bottom. You guys want to see the bottom? Okay. So again, this is the same grey. The J-02 grey is on here. This is exactly the same colour. You can see how changeable this colour is in the light. Like, genuinely, it picks up the light so well. And this is the J-02 grey. It's not polycarb. It's not polycarb. It's not magnesium. It's not bronze. It's not magnesium. It's not polycarbonate. No. Yeah. So there you go, guys. These curves are really cool. Like, genuinely, they're some of the nicest things I've ever had machined. And the beauty of it is, it kind of gives it that kind of like when it's on like a flat surface, it kind of feels like it's got that whole kind of levitation thing going on. So it kind of feels like this whole piece is levitating. So there you go. But thoroughly excited to do that. Flex did an amazing job on this board, and he was able to implement my ideas for the internals in such a cool way. I can't wait to show you guys what this looks like on the inside, because it's absolutely crazy. It's not like what you expect. There is a gasket involved in this one. There is a gasket involved in this, as well as magnetic levitation. So yeah. So cool. So there we go, guys. That is everything I've got to show you. We've done the Key65 build. We've talked about the revised J-01. We've talked about the Lodestone. Some of you guys have seen something that I've refused to acknowledge in this top corner. That exists now. I'm not going to show it on the stream, but that exists now. It's not mine to show, sadly, but it exists. It's there. You guys can see it. So yeah, we've got lots coming, guys. We've got lots coming. I hope you guys are excited as I am, because I'm really excited about this. Like these projects, it's so cool that I get to work on this kind of stuff with you guys, like with Socialite and some of the other stuff I've got going on with other customers and other vendors and things. It's so cool as this hobby right now, and it genuinely makes me really excited to be able to do things. So there we go. But yeah, Lodestone coming soon. J-01 will probably be first. 3 colours for that. Pen rail group buys in the future, because I'm going to have some different pen rails made up to match different sets, and you guys will be able to join those with me. A limited edition, which I'll talk about later on. James is getting a free one because he's a legend and I love him, and he deserves one. So yeah, there we go, guys. Cool. If you guys have got any questions, now is the time to ask them. So just drop me a message at TopClack if you've got any questions. We are going to wrap up the stream in a couple of minutes, so make them quick. If not, you can reach out to me on Discord. You can get into that below using all the stuff below, or you can drop me an email, or you can do whatever else you need to do. It's dead easy to get hold of these days. So please do reach out. Unicorn85 says, yes, it's super exciting, so many levels. Yeah, I'm really excited, guys. I'm really excited. How do you stop the side scraping with the magnet system when the plate PCB slides up and down? I will show you that when we get to do the build stream, Mr. Petrov. I'm not ready to show that yet. Not ready to show that yet. Can I show the Argyle? I don't have permission to show the Argyle. I genuinely don't have permission to show the Argyle. I was asked if I could maybe tease it on stream, which I think that qualifies as a teaser, but I don't have permission to show it, so there you go. I was given permission to tease it, not to show it, so I've teased it. So there we go. That's as much as I can show right now. But there will be some showing soon. Prices will all be discussed soon. I don't have any pricing information to share right now. That will all be announced well before the group buys happen and during the interest check phase, so you'll see that when it comes up. Will the Lodestone require an engineering degree to build? No. It should be dead easy to build. Some of it will come pre-assembled. I will be honest, this is not going to be a huge number of units. It's probably going to be 40 units maximum, just because there's a lot of QC work to do, prepared to send it out to you guys before you get them, because of how the system works. So yeah, that's the tease. That's the tease. I'm not allowed to do any more than that. If this goes well, people like it. This isn't like typing on any normal keyboard. This is very, very different, guys. This might not be for everyone, but there we go. There's a difference in colour comparing the J01s. Yes, that's because this is anodized black. This is E-black. Then this is not anodization. This is an E colour. So like E-white, this is E-black. Huey, you're a bad tease. Hey, it's there. It's a tease, right? It's a tease. I only see a white table and a finger. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Well, so I'm going to cry a lot this year. 50 J01, 40 Lodestone. The J01, it's going to be between 50 and 100 units, depending on how people feel about it. If that goes really, really well, then I'm not expecting it to. If it does go really well, then we'll do a second run where we'll open up to vendors around the world and we'll do different things. Round 1 is solely going to be with prototypists, but if it goes well, round 2 is going to be up there. Can you describe the difference in sound profile between the J01 and Lodestone? So the J01 is designed around isolating the plate and the switches and the caps from the case. You know, so you get a pure sound from the switches, the caps. That's what you're going to hear, and the acoustic chamber is designed to emphasize that sound over anything else. So this is a really crisp, clean sounding board. That's the idea behind it. The sound of the Lodestone isn't really its main feature. The main feature is the technology in there. So whilst we have got some sound channeling technologies inside, it's going to sound very different. It's going to be quite a loud board as the Lodestone. It's not going to be a quiet board, but we'll show you more of that when we do the build streams. There we go. Want to get in on our the CF Plate group buy, but Exclusive isn't releasing the 8.5 players until after board ship. Oh, I'm sorry, man. There'll be future rounds. You can always get one later on. Don't worry. There'll be always more rounds coming. So there we go, guys. That's it. So those are the 2 new boards. I hope you'll agree that they both look great. I'm really excited to get these into group buy and take them through there. Lodestone is going to be really low numbers to start with because I need to prove that other people like it before we do anything with it, because it's so different from anything else in the market. If that goes really well, there is interest from a ton of different people around the world vendor-wise to stock it. So if round 1 goes well, think of it as an extended beta test. Then round 2 will be quite swift after it and will be extended a lot further afield. So there we go, guys. That's it. Lots to share with you. Key65 build earlier on. I was really impressed with this board. I think for the price, this is one of the best boards of the year so far. Best boards of the year so far for the price. I just don't like the badge. Lets it down. But there we go. Salvin, you're coming in right at the very end. Yeah, the Lodestone's here, man. It's here. It's working. You'll be making one very soon. Let me show you this. Final thing, Salvin. This is the Lodestone. Look at that movement. And then do the same again from the rear. Salvin's seen all the files for this. He knows what the board looks like. Salvin, I'm expecting Salvin to tell me this is going to cost me a fortune to make. But hey, we'll talk about that. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, and Salvin knows we've got the not colour but the other option when it comes to the group buy. So yeah, I'm going to send Salvin one of these boards anyway because I need him to be able to match this colour and match the green that we want to do as well. So I'll be speaking to Salvin a lot, but there we go. It's option, yeah, third option. You will have the choice of a green top, an orange top, or a third option. That's as far as I'm going. It's not carbon fibre. No, it's not carbon fibre. It's not PC. It's not carbon fibre. Salvin knows. Yeah, Salvin really knows. It's not cerakoted. It's not carbon fibre. It's not bronze. It's not polycarbonate. Machine gun. Brr, brr, yeah, that's the one. It's not forged carbon. No. Anyway. You won't know. I'm not going to tell you what it is because anyone who buys that isn't going to know until it gets on their doorstep. So there we go. It's not UHM WPE. It's not stone. It's not diamond. Yeah. It's not resin. It's not granite. It's not Damascus steel. No. No. You're miles away, guys. Miles away. It's not gold. No, you're miles away. Like, you're thinking completely the wrong thing. It's not wood, it's not corian, it's not solid gold. You're completely thinking in the wrong ideas. Completely thinking. It's not elementium, it's not wood, it's not unobtainium. You're completely thinking wrong. It's not air. It will be a little bit more expensive, yeah. Cool. Alright. Human flesh confirmed. It's not human flesh. Gosh, you guys are weird. You guys are really weird. It's not wood, it's not titanium. Gosh, guys, no. It's not vibranium. It's not GMK keycaps melted. No, it's not Alcantara. That would be cool though. I want Upas. Can I have a? Oh, Upas. No, send me. Let me buy an 1800 off you, one of the Rect 1800s, and I will Alcantara leather the top of it. Like literally the top case. I will do that because I've got loads spare for when I do the cars. I've got like a sheet of it. I will absolutely do that if you send me one. Obviously, I'll send it back and everything. Yeah, genuinely. You send me it. I will Alcantara leather top. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I didn't make it in the sale. No, this is gonna happen. Cool. I could even do it on stream. I could even Alcantara leather the top on stream, dude, because I have got some. Yeah, I did my dashboard for one of the cars about about a year ago. So I've got a sheet that should just be the right size to do an 1800 top. Yeah, that would be really cool. Workshop stream where I put Alcantara leather on top of a keyboard case, right? That's going to be really cool. Yeah, that'd be really interesting. That's really interesting. Look at us, guys. We're prototyping on stream live. This is ace. This is ace. Oh yeah, you can't use it for long because it'll get horrible after about 6 months of daily use. But hey, it'd be cool. You can clean Alcantara quite easily though. You can get some proper chemicals for it and clean it. You just have to take the case apart and then do it. But yeah. No love for the bread top then. No, it's not bread now. But yeah, cool. Right then, guys, I'm going to call it a night there. Thank you very, very much for all your time today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Lodestone in action. I hope you enjoyed seeing what's coming with the J-01. I hope you enjoy the tease in the corner that I'm not allowed to show you, that I'm not allowed to acknowledge exists, but is there. And I hope you enjoyed the build of Huey's Key65. Huey, I'll try and get this to you tomorrow. If not, it will be with you later on in the week. It depends on if I can get it boxed up and labelled before DHL come in the morning. That's the trick. So there we go. Right then, guys, I'm going to head off now. I will see you later. Thank you very, very much for your time going out tonight, guys. I appreciate you all, and thank you very much for the support and everything else. I can't go and raid anyone, sadly, because I still haven't got into Twitch, because Brian has got the two-factor authentication turned on. It goes to his phone. He's not replying. So I can't raid anyone, but I can play an outro and say thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.